Ernst Spurs closed the gap at the bottom of the DStv Premiership and an unfortunate, sad, blue day in Manchester. This is Onside ZA brought to you by BETWAY. Get away more. Remember to join us with our affiliate code when you join as a new member on the BETWAY app. It is Onside ZA. It really helps us out a lot. Joining me on the show today, you might see Len Moleko sitting here next to me. That's odd, I know, but it's because, first of all, welcome, Len.
It's the odds.
It's the odds. I hope they're in your favor as usual, Mr. Arsenal fan. But Len Moleko, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And joining us on the show today, the reason why Len Moleko has to sit next to me is Javi.
Welcome, Javi. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Welcome back.
Glad to be back.
Javi, great to have you. Also joining me is Tepi Worldwide. Welcome,
Hello,
darling. And everybody's favorite super sub.
Danko.
Guys, let's get straight into the thick of the action. And the thick of the action, you know, it's been great football the last 2 weeks. But a week and a little bit ago, something especially special happened in South Africa. 5 new millionaires from the Aviator app.
Oh.
That was dope.
Are they single?
Cannot disclose the marital status right now.
Javi, Aviator, I know nothing about this. All I know now is that 2 rand can make you a millionaire
Yeah.
On BETWAY.
on BETWAY.
BETWay. With BETWay. Yeah.
That is crazy.
And get
Okay,
way
wait,
more.
but does it really work, friend? Do we have millionaires?
We have multiple. I think this is the first time publicly announced and recorded that there were 5 winners on one particular day that hit the maximum payout. Wow. So we thought, you know
big
what?
ups,
We'll
man.
Which
let
day was
them-
this? Wait.
Big ups.
24th of February.
You want to narrow it down, Tippy?
Yeah, I mean,
You looking for
clearly
him?
the numbers.
Or her?
Yeah, I mean, we can find them as well. You know, I got people in different area codes, but congratulations, friend. You telling me that 5 people won a couple of millions?
100% with 2 rand bets.
That is crazy.
Some people hit it twice.
So give us a very short
because
rundown.
It's nice. You hit it twice.
I think most of us on this show is
Welcome, Javi.
Thank you.
That's what we deal with every week.
As long as it's
we're
going
gonna
from
get to
Tepi, it's
cheating
okay.
girlfriends in a second. Don't worry.
We're gonna go to Madrid. We're gonna cry.
No. Tuaman's cry.
Yes.
But a quick, just 5-minute rundown on what is Aviator, how does it work? Most of us are familiar with the sports betting.
Yeah.
But Aviator, that excites me now.
Even me.
So quick rundown. Aviator is what we call a quick game or a crash game in the world of online casino betting. It's pretty simple. You place your bet on an automated plane, and depending on how high the plane would essentially soar, your odds would be multiplied. So, for example, in this case, we place a bet on with 2 rand. And then as the plane flies higher, it goes times 1, times 2, times 3. If it reaches times 100, you get your bet times 100. But the key is to stop the plane before it flies away. If the plane flies away, you lose all your money. So it's like the perfect game to play during the halftime if you don't want to miss a really intense game.
Yeah.
At your leisure, whenever you have some time. It's a quick game for a reason, right? It doesn't take a long time to load. You can literally have 3 to 5 rounds in a 5-minute waiting period. It's completely up to you. It's exciting. And you are essentially in control of that plane if you can stop it before it flies away.
Ballers, welcome to the chat as well. Always great to have you here onside with us and not offside. Lots of cool greetings and stuff. Gift Real G saying Aviator can't be a real thing. That thing keeps flying. That thing keeps chowing me. Hey, Gift Real G, the gift that keeps giving. Yeah. Look, great game. Speaking of games, there's one currently going on in the DStv Premiership. Kaizer Chiefs 1-0 up against Golden Arrows. Major surprises, not really. The odds favored Chiefs slightly. It's their first goal of the year, which is an improvement. But Super Sub, I want to bring
First
you
goal.
in here.
Yes,
Their
of the
first
year.
goal of
Official goal.
2024.
Real time.
No, they deserve a round of
in
applause.
play.
Other than the penalties in the penalty
Yeah.
shootout that they lost
They
in the
don't
Nedbank Cup,
count.
those
They
don't
don't
count.
count. No.
So in normal play.
yeah.
And it was a beautiful goal, mind you. A curler that was taken very well.
By whom?
So, who scored? I just forgot the
Kelchik,
yes,
no?
the player's
Duba.
name. Duba.
One
There we
Ile
go.
Duba.
Yes. It was a beautiful goal.
Rolling back the years like young Shabalala, or because
No.
he could finesse one.
Sometimes I
It
wonder
was-
if they even watch the likes of Shabalala, because, geez, man.
Nah.
First goal. This is Kaiser
Chief
Chiefs.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Chief. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
So you're telling me that in the month of January and February, they did not score a single goal?
Not
Yes.
one.
No.
Not on open
Well,
play.
look, remember they didn't play a game in January.
Yeah.
It was Afcon.
Yeah,
So
shame.
they-
but they
it's
played
February.
Swallows, and they're
Yeah,
now playing
nil-nils,
Lemon
nil-nils.
Golden
Nil-nils.
Arrows.
I think they've had 3 nil-nils in a row.
3 draws,
if I'm
2 wins.
mistaken,
Yeah.
yes.
So at
Three
least they
draws,
don't
2 wins.
concede goals, but there's nothing exciting about Chiefs play going forward.
Shame.
Super Sub, I want to bring you in on this. Any surprises that Chiefs are leading only 1-0? I mean,
No, not surprised at all. I think it was a matter of time. I mean, I heard Kevin Johnson saying the boys need to go out there and play for the badge. And I think it's because, I mean, the situation is getting desperate. You can't be Kaiser Chiefs and be where you are right now and not had scored a single goal in the new year. You know, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about Kaiser Chiefs here. I know Len is going to say it's a blast from the past, but
I did not say anything. I'm
Kaiser
just
Chiefs is
sitting
one of
here.
His face tells you everything.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, but guys, hear me out. They are going to be playing Orlando Pirates on the weekend, and I think that this, if they win this match, is going to boost their confidence, and that's also going to be nice. To
No,
see.
usually the game that they play ahead of a derby, if they win it, they lose the derby.
Yeah.
If they lose it,
They win the derby. But that's
So
all
they
have
lost.
to
They've
play
lost
for.
this weekend. Okay, we haven't.
no,
even
no, no, no,
discussed
no,
that.
no,
look,
no.
it is
This
a-
week now they currently play
That's what I'm saying.
and they winning.
Yeah.
So
So if they win,
if you want odds for this weekend, you know where you put your money.
0-0 draw. That's where you put your money.
Yeah. Own goal, 98th minute.
Maybe you're placing bets on red cards. A lot of red cards over the weekend in the DSTV Premiership.
but Orlando Pirates is not a dirty kind of player.
In
Neither
a-
is
in a
Kaiser
derby.
Chiefs.
Derbies can get
But
hairy.
yeah, and we saw
Especially that
Pirates,
one.
and especially what they did with Sundowns. Yeah, they could be coming in heavy.
I just look across the league and the refereeing decisions. 1 or 2 I thought were correct with the red cards, etc.
Yeah.
But there were some
Dodgy ones.
there were
Which
some
has
dodgy
been-
decisions this
Which has
weekend.
been the case with our league, right? And a lot of coaches actually come out and blast referees. Eric Tinkler, I
Eric
think,
Tinkler
did
is
it
the
last
latest
week.
one, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Rulani Mokoena has come out and said the same thing.
Nothing new.
So, well, yeah, we know. But I don't know. Are our referees properly trained, or they just like go and tick a box?
I think it's a general thing.
I mean,
it's not
we've
only
been
here.
having this.
It's not only here.
There's
It's
no
not only
VAR to assist them here. We've seen poor refereeing in England
With VAR?
with VAR, and VAR has been scrutinized in the UK heavily because of how poor VAR has been in assisting those referees. But I do think that it's a few levels down in the DSTV Premiership, even from that. And I think, first of all, referees, I don't know if they get the adequate training because they don't get the adequate pay to motivate like really high level people to stay there.
It would be
And
nice
it's
to have Ace
disappointing.
Mobile. Hey, join us.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
It would be nice. Just by the way,
he's
so the
experienced.
amount of players right now that are on suspension, we have 1 from Cape Town Spurs, 1 from Kaiser Chiefs, 1 from Orlando Pirates, and 2 from Stellenbosch, as well as Richards Bay, and 1 from TS. So it's not that bad, considering if we're saying that, you know, the match is going to be a dirty one. Okay, anyway, continue.
I am AB, first goal of the year and first victory. Our title race just begun. Let's go, Corsi Nation.
We're starting from
That's
the
the
back.
positivity we need.
Exactly.
That's the positivity we need on a Tuesday.
And Mzamo, thank you for the reminder. Rest in peace, Sipiwe Mkonza. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, we posted that on our
Dr.
socials.
Mnandi.
Dr.
Nandi.
Mnandi, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Did you ever meet him, friend?
Yes.
Is it?
Actually, we work in the same
Obviously.
building. Yes.
But I mean, you know.
Cool guy. He was always like a jolly person, and yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
Remember the game against Golden Arrows? I'm sorry, against Chiefs. Yeah, when he scored and then he equalized for the
Own goal.
opponents.
Yeah, one of those memories, eh?
Football is a nasty, nasty mistress. We saw that with the Royal AM fixture this weekend. They benefited heavily from one of the worst calls of a penalty I've ever seen.
I didn't watch that match, guys. What happened?
Oh, it was the 2 penalties in that game.
Yeah.
The one the referee's right there, clean challenge, clean as day, penalty given. And Royal AM really benefited from that one.
Ended up winning it 2-0, right?
Ended up winning
Because of
2-0
the
from the 2
penalties.
penalties. I think one of them was legitimate, but the first one,
Yeah.
goals change
Sketchy.
matches.
Correct.
Right? And they were under it and then win a really dodgy penalty, go 1-0 up, and they're not able to push the opposition into another penalty decision. And it's tough to take. It's tough to take.
Do we say, guys, is there a possibility, even a tiny, minute possibility that there might be some type of
Super sub.
Could be a big possibility.
Was Mumkis at
Controversy
the
surrounds.
stand? Was Mumkis at the stand?
She's always there. Just look for the umbrella.
With
Gucci
their
one.
music box. What do you call it?
The
no,
speaker.
like for real, like
Speaker.
Oh, okay.
And the envelopes.
So the referee danced to the music.
No.
To be honest, Seppi, I mean, it's hard to say out loud, but I think there is an element
it's a
of
podcast,
bribery
we're allowed
and
to say what we
corruption.
want to.
I think there is
Your
an
chest.
element of bribery and corruption in South African football. Whether it's at the top level or
Yeah.
not is debatable,
Yeah.
but certainly at the lower levels.
Yeah.
And
Yes, no,
when
definitely.
the best way to mitigate this is to remunerate referees more fairly.
Yeah.
Referees are not remunerated fairly. They make a decision on the field and then they get long suspensions with no pay. And then they're unable to feed their families. So what happens when you come back to refereeing? You might just take a little on the side to make sure that you can feed your family for the next
Yeah.
6 months if something were to happen to you
Yes,
again.
but even
So it's really
friend,
tough.
I mean, you are a referee because we are expecting you to be objective.
I agree. And
You
I
know,
think
so-
that's also why we're not
so it's
having...
an ethical issue.
I agree. But if you want top ethical individuals in those positions, you need to remunerate them adequately because otherwise you're going to be attracting the wrong types of people into those
Yeah.
positions.
But also, just to flip it aside, right?
And sorry, it's not to attack referee because as I say this, sorry, before you go, Lynn, as I say this, I'm not accusing any of the referees of taking bribes and stuff. I'm just saying if it is something that's going on, the way to fix it is to remunerate these guys adequately. I'm not trying to attack referees.
They're a victim of circumstance.
They've got the most difficult job on that pitch, harder than goalkeepers even.
So I was gonna say, right? You still have Neymar who's getting paid millions and millions, and then he will still be dishonest and dive to win a penalty so that he can win a match.
So what are we saying? Should we just
So
get
is
AI?
it the remuneration thing, or like it's or is it just a human thing?
No, because I think remuneration means the ethical position, the onus is on the people who are officiating. As a footballer, your job is to try and grab every inch and every bit to try and shift the result in your favor. So I think they're two different things. You're almost paid to cheat in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you should, but it's the job of the
'Cause the more
officials
you
to
win
ensure
games,
that
the
you
more money
don't.
to you.
100%.
Yeah.
If you could determine whether a crucial penalty or red card or foul is given in an area that gives you an advantage, it's what do they call it? The dark arts, right? Shithousery. So like that's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, we use VAR as an excuse, but VAR is not there to re-referee. It's to make the decisions better.
Yes.
And I think the only people who kind of got it right, yet there's no real eyeballs on them, is the Australian referees. Have you seen that example of how they do the TMO back and forth
Yes.
in the Australian league? Again, I've seen a few examples of that. I don't know whether it works adequately, but from all the leagues in the world, obviously that's not that recognized. It's the most positive outcomes I see from that league specifically.
Yeah, but we should be taking
Everywhere
a page also from Afcon.
Exactly.
Yes,
Afcon
I was actually
really
gonna
good,
mention that,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's where we did well when it comes to VAR. So take a page from Afcon, see how they went about it, and you saw how stringent the referees were as well.
I
And
think-
they paid well.
I think you can take a page out of the book, out of every book from Afcon in terms of
Entertainment,
officiating,
Yeah.
everything.
across the board organization, all of it. It was fantastic. It was a terrific tournament. And
Here's a joke. David Dan. How do you know when a referee is lying? When he says he went out with his friends. Referees don't have friends.
Joseph
get it, but okay.
Ngonyama saying Henda Birimini. watching all the way from the UK.
Yeah,
With the
nice
gents,
one. Big
but
ups.
they're short on Chiller's Punch. Please tell MacG to make a plan for us out here.
We'll make a plan.
I'll
we'll
pass
make a
on the
plan.
message.
We'll
I'll
make a
pass on
plan.
the
We'll
message.
make a plan.
Okay, let's move on to the rest of the DStv Premiership. We have a lot to go through today. Chiefs obviously misfiring on the weekend. Now they've got the solitary goal.
Yes.
And then Len saying they're going to lose on the weekend as a result.
I think we'll see what the odds come up with in the next couple days for the Soweto Derby. It's going to be an
Yeah.
exciting one to see and a really exciting one to play on.
Yeah.
But I don't expect a boatload of goals in that one. I think Pirates more likely to score than Chiefs. So if you are going to back a winner, I would back Pirates just based on form, based on quality, based on the style of play. Pirates coming back into a style of play that I feel is going to bring them a little bit more, Super Sub.
And based on Chiefs winning today.
But
Also that.
And your theory, Len. Yeah.
the derby is a weird game, eh? And past results usually don't mean anything. You know, you'll get a Chiefs that had like a bad run, and then come face Orlando Pirates, you'll have a Matt scoring a goal from the center half. You know, so a derby it's usually very weird for me. You know?
Correct.
tricky.
You're
I
right.
agree.
And it's either 1-0 or 1-1. You know, it's one of those games that I think it's just. I don't enjoy the derby anymore because
It's
you
not
don't
exciting.
get to experience good football being
When
displayed.
last did we have 2.5 over in a derby?
I think
About
it was
2 or
a
3
top-
years ago.
Yeah, because the last couple of matches have been either a 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 0-0.
Yeah. It's
So
never really
derby has
been
just
anything
become
more.
a marketing. What do you call it? It's just
Ploy.
yeah,
strategy.
It's a social event.
It's a social event.
It
It's like
is
a
though.
Durban July. Oh.
Yeah. No, hey, not Devin friend. It's a
The BETWAY
it's a
Summer
Summer
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah. One job.
You had one joke.
I deserve to be subbed.
Okay, looking back at previous games before we get over the top with the derby coming up, Chile boys, they would have shaken your hand on a point going to Stellies before the game kicked off. But as things played out, at the end of this game, Len Moleko, they'll be disappointed not to have taken all three. The way they played.
Yes. And Chippa is actually also, when we were speaking earlier on about how weird the derby is, Chippa is also another one of those teams that one day they are very good. Next thing, it's like they look very disjointed.
Yeah.
They play with a lot of pace and like quite a bit of flair.
Yes.
So they're an exciting team to watch, especially when they play the way they played against Stellies. I mean, Masibuke was a busy goalkeeper. He was in top form.
Yeah.
And obviously, Stellies played a lot of that game with 10 men. So, Chile boys,
It's
blow hot and cold.
Yeah, they
Need to blow more hot.
But it's funny. I was expecting Stellies to mop the floor with them.
So that's I think we actually spoke about this
Yeah.
last week.
Yes, we did,
Where
yeah.
we said, okay, cool, Stellies are the inform team.
But are they though?
Okay, Supersport United are the inform team. Da 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 da. But you the DStv Premiership is a very weird league. Outside of Sundowns, we know what they do.
Yeah.
Everybody else is not make sure.
Yep.
And they do blow hot and cold.
Yes. Like you would have thought Swallows with all the issues that they're
100%.
having were gonna be wiped by Kaiser Chiefs over the weekend.
Yep.
But they held their own.
Yeah, of course.
And speaking of Stellies, they are leading 1-0 right now against
Against
Cape Town
City,
City.
yeah.
Oh, it's a derby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, dang. On a Tuesday.
And you'd think a Cape Town City, the way they've been going.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm saying the DStv Premiership is a very weird
Yeah,
league.
very strange.
How long has it been since it's been consistent? I can't remember.
I can't
guys.
remember,
Honestly
Nami, yes?
speaking.
There's only one consistency in the league.
Bar Sundowns.
We
Bar
know
Sundowns.
this.
Before that,
But before that, I mean, Orlando Pirates and Kaiser Chiefs were really showing us. And in
They were
Bloemfontein
dominant,
Celtic
yeah.
was also a team that was a contender. Amazon at some point was throwing us flames. Remember when they finished number 2? I believe it was a 2022 or 21 when they
Makani was a
when they
coach.
ended up going into
Yeah.
CAF.
When Benny was a coach.
Benny was a
Yes,
coach.
remember when he left Pirates? Yeah, so there was a bit of some shakedown, yeah.
But if we look at it,
and they were a new team at that point.
Correct.
well, new but
New,
old.
but
New.
After
Yes.
Yanda
Yeah.
left, yes.
Yes. So it's a case of if we look back 10 years ago, Only 3 teams have won the league.
Yeah.
Wits,
Yep.
Sundowns.
Yeah.
Is SuperSport not there?
No.
No, you
So
said
it's Orlando
Super
Pirates.
10 years.
10 years.
10
Oh,
years.
okay.
2015.
Yes. Okay.
From
yes.
2014.
Actually,
Pirates,
they-
no.
Was Orlando
no,
Pirates
no,
not there?
no. Chiefs also. I think
No.
that was the last time they won it was
Because
in
Pirates
the-
last won the league with the treble, second treble.
that was
Yeah.
2012, 13.
Yeah.
And I think Chiefs won it the following season.
Yes, with Stuart Baxter.
With Stuart Baxter.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And then since then, it's been Sundowns and Vets. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wits won the one solitary
Yes.
championship, and then
It's just been Sundowns.
yeah.
So is our league competitive?
No.
Let me ask.
If it is until the transfer window,
That
and
is
then the
disheartening.
competitive team becomes not competitive anymore because all the best players shift over to Sundowns.
Yes, but then once again we have the discussion: is Mamelodi Sundowns then kind of like spoiling the league for all of us, and then people are polarized with this one.
No, but if you're good, you're good.
People must step
Juventus
up.
have run the league for how many years
yes.
prior to
Thank
this
you.
controversy?
There was-
Bayern Munich 8 years in a row or
Yes.
something like that. It's just-
Until
hopefully
now.
yeah.
Yes.
But it's disgusting, like the PSG as well, right? Okay, bar like calamitous upsets when Poch went to PSG. That's the first time they lost.
When who went where?
It's Maurizio Pochettino. Sorry, my knowledge just kicks in all of a sudden. Right.
But we'll get there. It's okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like these kind of leagues are like that, and the problem is you can say it's competitive, but it's only competitive below Sundowns. No one else can challenge. And when Sundowns lose, it's because they play their third team and they got CAF or Champions
Or
League.
something.
Yeah.
And even then,
And they're already
they would
25
rather
points
draw
ahead.
as
Yeah.
opposed to losing.
And also, it's
100%.
football. You're going to lose a few games
Al Ahly does the
unless.
same in Egypt as well.
No.
We can.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. Season after season,
Nje, easy.
it's them.
Yeah.
Wydad has bar now.
In
Wydad
Morocco.
have been doing that in
And you
Morocco.
know, because of this, based on the amount of financial muscle that Mamelodi Sundowns has, I'm assuming that Stelli's also got some vineyards there. I thought that we were going to do well and be competitive when it comes to the transfer period, and that's not happening.
So the approach is not the same.
They want the young ones to develop and
Yes.
that what you
So
said?
it's almost like what SuperSport United does. That's what Stelli's kind of do.
yeah, with a fraction of the muscle.
Yes. Is it the vineyard guy who says, "No, I'm going"? No, he does not throw money at the
I
situation.
don't think it's interested like that.
Is
it's
it not a
football
tax
after all.
write-off?
It's football after all. We're not together
It's a
for
tax
stronger
write-off,
together,
man.
you know.
Let's just put it this way, right? Sundowns owner brought Lionel Messi down to South Africa. By himself.
He's not the owner anymore, friend, but we hear
No, I'm saying.
You know.
But yeah.
He knows.
I feel it's coming.
He told you. He knows. Super Sub knows.
personally even.
He knows.
He brought Messi here, friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means
And that was
A
not
lot.
the first. He brought Ronaldinho.
I know,
Ronaldinho,
right?
yeah.
So when you have like that kind of funding, it's not even state owned. It's just
Yeah.
someone owns that.
if you're based
You
in
sure have
Fiorentina.
Oh, well, I'm just saying. Like, we can't claim state-owned oil money because we don't. Obviously, petrol prices are going
Yeah.
up. There's no oil in this country, so we can't claim that, right?
Yeah.
Fair
So
point.
I'm just saying, like, when you have that kind of finances, no one's going to compete there.
And somebody that actually loves football.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the Vineyard guys are really into football.
No, they're stronger together, friend.
You know.
No, but like, no. Please understand this. There's a reason why they went about the way they went about what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
It's everybody has a moral that they work with, right? There was a point where Stellies were struggling, but they were like, you know what? We're going to keep Steve Barker on. We're not gonna get rid of him. He probably has a plan, all right? Versus somewhere in the south of Johannesburg, where every season people get chucked out.
Where?
In
By
Nigeria,
Southgate.
South of
My
Johannesburg,
Southgate, friend.
and next to the prison. But anyway,
son.
so it's. I think Stellies have a project that they're working on. It's like, okay, cool. You want to buy Guinica, you want Ashley Dupree, cool. Buy them. It's fine. We're gonna develop the Stellenbosch.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yes, the Stellenbosch Academy, and not only from a football perspective, it's from a sporting perspective.
I see.
So they work with patience. They don't work with we want results and we want
Hey.
results
And
now.
Stop
also, let's
buttering
be
them up.
fair, Mamela-
Margarining them up. Right. Okay. To put it nicely, you've made a good point, and in terms of the whole league setup, and you're just talking about they've got a plan and it's sort of a slow strategy, whatever. It's working quickly. They're currently leading Cape Town
They
Spurs,
won.
as we
It's
said.
1-0.
It's okay. So the
Chiefs
game's
won
wrapping
1-0.
up. And Amazulu are likely to beat Swallows 1-0 as well. And
It's a draw.
Huh?
Swallows and Amazulu it's a stalemate.
Oh.
1-1.
Yep, and they are it's 95 minutes in, so
And again,
it's
I
going
go
to be
to the
1-1.
Swallows thing.
so it's a late goal for Swallows.
Nazo.
Mine hasn't updated here as yet.
without
Okay,
a coach.
so
A
Look,
goal
Musa
from
is there,
Mutali.
and Musa understands the dynamics of Swallows. He did well with all the problems that they had the previous season prior to them bringing Steve. So it's sort of like, that's why I was saying, do you think Swallows got rid of Steve knowing that they've
They
got a
can't afford a
guy?
jacuzzi.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, they've got a plan B. You know, and I think
I feel
Musa.
like Steve got rid of himself.
Yeah, I think so too. I think,
I think he saw Horim, but yeah, no. And I have a rep, and he decided to just bow out like a gentleman, and allow them to deal with their issues internally.
well done to Swallows. That last minute goal
Yeah.
gets them the 1-1 draw, and hey, they
fighting.
clicking on. They're fighting.
And
They're
remember,
giving
you were saying the other day that they're more likely to get relegated because when we spoke after the issues started,
Don't remind me. Hey, listen, Cape Town Spurs are flying.
What did I say last week about what Middendorp is cooking?
Richards Bay is the one I'm worried
You know
about
what's
now.
going to be crazy? If they get a double against Orlando Pirates.
oh snap!
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're
tomorrow
you're
night's
actually
game.
right. You're actually
Tomorrow night's
right.
game. Stellies sitting comfortably in second position and currently looking best placed rather
Best-ish, yeah.
to finish in the CAF Champions League next season. But it's very tight between Cape Town Spurs, Stellies, and Supersport United. So this is a nice big scalp for Stellies
Yeah.
to have gotten one.
And
over
remember
Cape Town Spurs.
Supersport also, because now they're kicked out of Confed, I feel like Gavin is going to come in guns blazing.
But then it means he's gonna go back to KEF, which is what he doesn't want to do. And then
Again, so doing the same
And
thing.
you understand? Like,
Yeah.
it's
But if you
just-
finish second every
insanity.
season, there's nothing wrong because you're going to not finish first.
Yeah,
no,
but
but
third
he's
and
still gonna
fourth,
play. He's
you're
still gonna play
Confed.
Kev.
You're gonna
Should
play
we have
Confed.
No,
Should
if you
we
finish
have-
second, there's two spots, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, there's two.
That's why
you
it's
play
CAF
CAF
Champions
and
League.
then
It's Champions
3 and
League.
4 is
Then
Confed.
No.
Three.
The
Confederations.
three.
And then
the
Nedbank
winner
Cup.
of the Nedbank Cup. Then
Oh,
the
and
other
then three.
Confed,
Oh, yes.
yes.
Yeah, so the
So
two.
if Gavin is gunning for second place,
And
it
he just
means
might.
it means he's gonna end up in KEF, and then he's gonna
doesn't
complain. He's
want
like,
it.
we don't have players.
Again.
Ah,
Oh, shame.
yeah.
But I feel like he likes it though. It's like that girl.
Nah,
Stop it. But I
The
don't
cheating
know.
girlfriend.
I don't, yeah. Oh, Hamas
Okay, to wrap up before we go to CAF Champions League, let's wrap up DSTV Premiership in terms of this weekend. These three fixtures that just passed. Cape Town Spurs, that's the story for me right now. Ernst Middendorp's Mission Impossible in progress.
yeah, look, I mean, you've signed Tepo Gumede.
Oh yes, from Maritzburg.
Yeah,
Is that the boy from Maritzburg who used to play for Paris, or is it
He
someone
played,
else?
I think he got him from, he was with Amazulu. Like,
Yes.
Was it Amazulu, not
It
Maritzburg?
was Amazulu.
Okay.
he
Yes.
probably played for Maritzburg as well, but he was with Amazulu and he played for Orlando Pirates some few years back.
Yeah.
So you can see his intentions. You know, he wants to save the club, and I mean, two back-to-back wins. I mean,
Yeah.
But who's best? So let's look at history. The likes of Maritzburg United flirting with relegation. Who was brought in to save them? I think even Swallows as well. A few seasons
It
ago.
was Brendan Brendan came in
Then he
and then
got
he
let
promoted
go.
them.
yeah,
and
he,
then they
he,
let
he
him
has
go.
helped. Middendorp has helped Maritzburg before.
And Swallows as well. I think Middendorp was at Swallows as well.
You know,
he
so-
helped them. So he's the what's our favorite coach in the Premier League?
Sam
Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce. He's a
Big
Sam
Sam.
Allardyce.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you can't give that to Middendorp. We've got our own Sam, and you know him. That's Dance Malisela.
No, that one gets brought in when it's like, the pockets are not deep
Sebastian
enough.
guys left Maritzburg United in January.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
When did he leave Amazulu?
I'm not sure, but it says here, because I remember doing research on him. He's 32 years old and he's an experienced Orlando Pirates player, but he left Maritzburg United because he was having contractual issues. And now he went to training last week and he impressed Middendorp, and that's why he's on the squad.
And also remember with Ernst, right? For this, it was not his fault.
What?
He losing the league in 2021.
Whose fault was it?
It was the players.
Or
What
was it the
else-
older guys?
What else was he supposed to do?
Go in the field and score for them.
Tactics.
Exactly. Like Chiefs were on the brink of winning the league.
Yeah, but,
That was a
I mean,
letdown, Shaq.
How do you not win against Morocco? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Right? So he's proven coach? Yes.
Baraka's name.
Huh? What?
They pulled a Dortmund like last year. Dortmund lost it.
Yes.
On that.
Yes.
Yes.
The
So-
last game. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, the last. So it's the same thing. Oh,
Yeah.
the irony.
Victim of circumstance.
So Ernst is a good coach, and I think we spoke about this on the show. Cape Town Spurs took too long to get rid of Sean Bartlett.
Facts.
Yeah.
Probably.
Facts.
Yeah, but what do you do? Again, a lot of times we
He got them promoted.
yes.
Tried to give him
And
the
a lot of
benefit,
time we
and
say-
he got promoted through playoffs. So tough ask.
And again, sometimes we say, clubs needs to stick with coach. This chop and changing is not good for football. And
But we
On the
know
flip
that
side,
getting
we're saying
promoted to
the
the
two-
top flight friend, it's a monster on its own.
Yeah, of
and that we've
course.
seen
True,
many
yes.
coaches struggle.
And also remember, with Sean Bartlett, he's a repeat offender.
when you put it like that, be nice. Though.
What happened at Golden Arrows?
I know he
Yeah.
promoted them and he struggled.
Exactly.
But
It's a company effect.
Yo,
That's
another
what
one.
Lupozon Ngozi said, guys. It's not me.
Okay.
I quote.
It's a quote.
Going back to these comments here, thanks for that one, Sepi.
You're welcome.
Legendary me. Now I've lost your comment. He was explaining to us that Pirates had won back in 10-11, 11-12, then Chiefs won 12-13, 14-15, then Sundowns won, and then Wits had that solitary season in
And then it's been
15-16,
Sundowns.
and then it's been Sundowns throughout. Mzamo saying Richards Bay won't be relegated. Vilakazi will save it.
He's a good
but
coach.
then who gets relegated? At the way things are looking, it's easy to pick on Cape Town Spurs, right?
Mathematically.
They're only
Basically,
three.
yeah.
They're only
I
3
agree with
points
that.
behind
And
Richards Bay, and Richards Bay's form
Yeah.
has been awful.
Yeah, but look at the points gaps, guys. So that's what I was looking at recently, because it because of the 2 wins, it feels like they're on the upward turn.
True.
Look at the deficit
Still
that
a
they
lot.
have to guys.
It's bad.
13 points. So that means no other team must win above them.
10 points.
Or is it 10 points?
Yeah, it's
right.
the 10 points for Cape Town Spurs and Chipper United's on 20.
And Richards Bay's on 13.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
I
yeah,
think-
but then it's a
I think- So
relegation
the
to avoid the
difference-
playoff
Yeah.
altogether,
The
right?
difference,
Yeah.
you need to recover 13 points to be in a safe space.
It's a
coming
lot of
at the
Golden Arrows are raising their hands.
We did say Mission Impossible.
They're like, no,
We want to go there to the playoffs.
yeah. we'll wait for you. We'll wait for you.
because they've been on a terrible run of form.
But guys, when you
One
think
win
about
in their
it,
last 5.
if Cape Town Spurs
The
was
rest
to
are
win
losses.
the next 4 matches, and that is possible. So yeah, that's
They
12
got Pirates
points, and they
tomorrow.
find
The next
themselves
4
in 10th.
matches.
They've beat Pirates before.
Double, yeah.
I'm sure they
but
have.
You see, Super Sub is worried. He told you.
No, I'm not worried. We are Orlando Pirates. What are you saying?
Okay, from
were.
Jadon Sancho and Luis Figo here. Let's move on to CAF Champions League. CAF Champions League, Sundowns clinching a win, 1-0. Good result for them.
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not surprised that they finished with a grand total of 13 points, which is higher than anyone else in the group stages of the CAF
Yeah.
Champions League.
After having lost and drawn one as well.
But the only surprise would be that it was a solitary penalty goal that got them over the line in Attridgeville.
Yes, but even so, we know that I feel like we already know now what Sundowns is gunning for,
Yeah.
and that's to dominate the continent,
Exactly.
and they'll do whatever it takes. When
So
it
they-
comes to CAF and when it comes to also domestic league, I mean, they don't really care for cup competitions like that. But when it comes to the CAF Champions League and when it comes to the DSU Premiership, they want to lead.
Agree.
That's it.
I think they've built themselves such a nice little gap in
Yeah.
the DStv Premiership. They're going to go
They
all
can
out for
chill.
Nedbank Cup as well.
And it's
Which
funny.
is the
Sure,
story,
they want-
right?
Yeah.
Every single season
That's it.
for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And
That's actually the one thing we must say. Sorry, Len, I'll bring it back to you.
yes.
Is Nedbank Cup the marker for how competitive the league is?
I think it's the most difficult cup to win.
That's what I'm saying, is that is the PSL actually that much of a one-horse race like it always looks in the league? If the Nedbank Cup is a new winner every year. It shows that
and
there's
you mentioned-
quality
yes,
in knockouts,
yeah.
right? So is Sundowns really that much better than everyone, or they just that much more consistent?
They
Both.
pick their struggles.
100%. I think it could be looked at that way, right? It's so competitive from a Nedbank
Yeah.
perspective. I just think it highlights how inconsistent the league and the teams are.
Yes.
Because if it's a new, like we always want a new winner, right? The new story and stuff like
true,
that.
yeah. Of
But what happens to their team afterwards? Does anyone kick on? No.
That's it.
You understand? Like they the Fulham that got into semi-final of Europa League.
Yes.
Or the Wigan that won the cup, went to Europa League but was relegated.
And that's it,
Right?
exactly.
So like
Yeah.
the great stories, but
What
what
else?
happens afterwards? How do you use that prize money and build your team? Like, okay, it's
Don't
a
ask
cup,
Wigan.
right?
Ah,
Yeah,
the first one we know it.
Yeah, but that's
Goes
what
to
I'm
the
saying.
chairman.
They
You
don't know.
understand what I'm saying?
But
So,
I feel
don't
like
do
at that
anything.
point, the chairman has been, pumping so much money out that one time he gets a couple of meals.
Yeah.
He needs to get himself a new jacuzzi at his house, though, not at the.
So
At the sports.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about what we're talking about in terms of chairmans and the millions that you win, there's a book that I read. It's called Why England Lose.
Oh, yes, your favorite book.
Yes.
The one you
Quoted
quote.
that book
He quotes that book every
every
week.
episode.
That's my
Just to let you know, no, there's a book that I did.
I was thinking it's
you
kind
can't
of
say
that title.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've mentioned it before.
I know the content of the book. Continue, friend.
But they speak about a football is not a business.
What is it then?
It's you do it out of
The lifestyle?
Passion
Passion.
and showing off.
Yes.
And
As an owner.
yeah, it's
as an
like
owner. It gives you football gives you access as an owner.
Is Manchester City not the nicest Rolex you've ever seen? It's just a guy who's got so much money that he wants to show off that, like, hey, I've got a Champions League, or I've got a
Yes.
Premier League. It's what Roman Abramovich did. Sometimes
yes.
football clubs for billionaires, football clubs are
a
a
hobby.
really,
It's a nice to have.
really nice Rolex.
a yacht.
It's a flex.
Yeah, look at Todd Bowley. You getting a deal, 9 years. You getting
I'm
a
not
deal.
going to
lock
talk
you in.
about Todd Boyle. It's fine.
But it's weird. No, but Marcus says that it's rooted within the club. I'm not going to lie. I had the fortunate opportunity to go to the Etihad last year, right? And sit in the director's box. Guys, I felt like I was in the opera. Like the
In
bougie opera.
Sydney.
The fanciest
Yes.
of fancy.
I couldn't get in without a suit or a coat and stuff like that. But on TV, they say that City is very quiet. In the stadium, it's even worse. And when you look at clubs that have real soul in the stadium, especially against a low opposition, it just didn't come across. But going towards your point, that Rolex analogy is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
100. Like, it's an expectation that they're going to win 5-0 every game. And after the third goal or the second goal, I mean, they were losing.
4 goals after
or they were
15
drawing.
minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Arsenal. So, like, they were drawing the game, and you expect the crowd to spur them on and stuff. And it was like the come on City, and it was done. And then Haaland scored, and it just became like your bougie, posh, let's all clap. Like they're playing polo.
It's nothing new.
100%. And I was shocked, actually.
It's
but
not
facilities-wise, absolutely phenomenal.
So and that's what I'm alluding to in that like the way Marco put it. It's football. If you go into football for business, you're not
Yeah.
gonna come right. Football is
Unless
that-
you're Brighton.
Yeah.
It's your favorite pastime.
It's that Ferrari that you have in your garage
Yeah.
that you can show off to your friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
The trophy girlfriend who cheats from
Oklahoma Skral.
Haman's crowd.
Yeah.
That's literally what a football club is
Yeah.
to a lot of the billionaires.
Like Sir Jim now coming to Manchester United.
Yes.
Boyhood Manchester United fan, wants to be involved in the club, has the money, bit of a flex.
Here we are.
Like Patrice.
Not expecting to make money off of that.
The Leicester owners, let me put a span in the works. The Leicester owners,
They went into it
But
with the
still not-
right mindset.
But is it business or passion?
yeah.
There's the other thing. So so I think Sir Jim's along those lines as well. He knows he's going to lose money, but he wants to save his beloved Man United.
Exactly.
And I think we saw it at West Ham with David Gold. Was it? It's
Goldbridge or somebody?
yeah.
The two, they were
the
the-
two,
the
and the
two
one who
owners,
passed,
yes.
and now the daughter's
Yes.
the main stakeholder there. But I think we saw it a lot in English football in years gone by, and then
Yeah.
when the mega money came with the Romans and the Qataris and the Saudis, etc. Now we're starting to see that disappear ever so slightly.
So look at it this way. Who's the guy who sold Newcastle United?
Mike Ashley.
Mike Ashley.
He was trying to run it like a business.
He's just taking the profits.
And
Get in
it's,
Rafa to save them from relegation.
Sports director,
Take that 30
Arena.
million in the beginning.
Yes.
Buy Almiron. Okay.
All right. And that model that he was trying to do did not work.
Not in
Clearly.
football terms.
So the Saudis came, were like, no, it's fine. We're just going to pump money into the situation.
So how do we apply that logic to local football?
Huh?
How do we apply that same logic to local football?
It's
No
the
one's
same.
interested
It's a
in it.
flex.
Same. It's a flex.
I feel like Irvin Koza runs that team like a business, though.
Orlando Paris, rest assured, it's a business. He's looking into profits.
No, guys, it's a flex. Like, okay,
How's the thing?
why is
When you've got that sort of money, there are better businesses to invest
Agreed.
in than
Yes.
a football club.
Yeah,
Why is Jomo Sono still running Jomo Cosmos
That's passion.
today?
that's passion.
No, it's access.
And he likes
guys.
driving his buses.
Access at ABC.
Eh?
At ABC.
He owns a soccer club.
At ABC.
Black Leopards.
Guys,
Why does it
people
still
own spaza
exist?
shops, eh?
Yeah.
It's still a business.
Yes, people might not be buying the bread, but like it's access. It's like it opens certain doors for you.
No, for sure. But I'm saying he's got more passion than many owners
Yeah,
that we know.
definitely.
Let's switch back to CAF Champions League. Sorry, guys, we get sidetracked very easily. CAF Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns top. The next big news from that, bigger news, Wydad out.
We
Early
said
group
it last
stages.
week.
What did I say last week?
Exactly. We
And-
did
and we
said it
said-
last
But it was
Our
not
exact-
guaranteed. They needed, I mean, come on.
Our
Running-
exact-
week. I mean,
Running
they
FC,
won, but they still had.
they needed to beat Simba.
Yes.
It
No,
was
Simba
a mountain
had
to climb for the
what's
Botswana
the
guys.
story? I have
But
the
the thing
whole
is,
story here.
it's when you are in
The
the
fate
situation
was
that
not in their hands.
yes, when you are in the situation that Wydad was in, it's remember we said we're gonna borrow them our calculators,
Yebo.
and when it's like that, it's like okay, yes, I can do what I'm supposed to do, but it's not up to me.
Yeah.
They won the game.
Like
But
They
just
won
But
the
not
game.
enough. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah,
it
because
says
Simba
the
won
first-
their game.
Yeah.
There we go.
So they
yes.
finished on
And
the same
they-
points, but we did say this. These were our exact words last week.
Yep.
Is Wydad is likely to finish third on the same number of points as Simba. And they did, and the goal difference killed it.
Yeah, and this just gives Sundowns like a very good opportunity to take it.
they only have to beat Al Ahly.
They
Yeah.
only have to beat Al Ahly. The other teams, I don't see them being a problem to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Well, look at the inconsistencies with the group, right?
Yeah.
Sundowns lost one, drew one, and still finished off far better than any other group
that's
leader
it.
there.
Do you
But
know
what about TP, guys?
for Sundowns?
So you
TP
don't,
Mazembe.
you don't see them.
They used to be a strong
They were.
contender, but
Yeah.
They've won many titles. many Champions
They're like
League
that girl who was hot in high school.
But
Yeah, shame.
they weren't magnificent in
why not that guy
Etridgeville.
that was hot in high school?
Either doesn't
No, the
matter.
guys are never hot in high school. They make money and then they're hot now in real life.
Oh, okay. Case in point.
We learn new things every day. Yeah.
So it's think of it this way, and the evolution of Sundowns. Let me call it that, right? When did you ever, in your mind, think Bongani Zungu would be playing at centre back and play that well?
What is your point?
That happens when you're playing in a well-structured team. You know, we've
Yeah.
seen. Even I'll make reference to Manchester City. You've seen how.
Jolien Lescott. Honestly,
Well, that's true. You
Fair
know,
point. No, fair point.
you know, we've seen the invasion of players. You know, and if you are within a well-structured team, it's easier for you to settle in.
yeah.
John Stones.
John Stones.
Yeah, well,
Stones?
But okay,
but
hold on.
that's an inversion. No, no, no.
I rate John Stones. In his time at Everton as a ball-playing centre-back, I thought he had potential. He obviously went down when the structure wasn't right.
Yes.
In
But
this
I
system,
think
he's
I
good.
think purely speaking, from a player who you wouldn't expect to do a fantastic job in
Oh,
a new
100%.
position,
Yeah.
and to do it that well,
At the end,
and that's what we're
in the
talking
Champions
about.
League final.
Who played
And that's
number
what we're
6
talking about,
for
and I-
Liverpool this weekend? This past
Joe
weekend?
Gomez.
Joe Gomez, yeah.
So
So we
that's.
attribute this.
I
Zungu's
agree with what
performance
you're saying.
To what? To the coach or to just his
Structure,
overall-
overall.
The structure.
Think about
Including the
Fergie's
coach,
best
including the
teams.
sec.
How he drop in a Anderson or a O'Shea or a Fletcher at random parts of the team.
Ji-sung
right?
Park wouldn't
Valencia,
catch a
he
game
was
in the
really,
Premier
I
League.
rate him. I rated him. He was
Ji-sung
really
Park
good,
would
right?
get a Champions League game. A guy who was a winger.
Yeah.
In whatever
Sentiment.
in Germany before
Yeah.
he came, he was a winger.
Yeah.
He played at number 6, and it's like, you deal with Pirlo.
Yeah.
That's your job today. Deal with Pirlo. You know,
100%.
it's like
You guys remember Valencia at Manchester United?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's the thing, right? If the system works,
Yeah.
how many times do you see Fabinho playing centre back or Rodri dropping it at centre back? If the system
The
works,
system
guys,
is there.
everything can work.
So then I
Quality
ask,
professional footballers
so
can be.
then I
Exactly.
ask, is Sundowns money or is it system?
It's both. They've built
Like
a system.
Manchester-
Mike gave
At the
them
same
access
time.
to build a system.
The best coaches, the best
best coaches.
facilities, the
Yeah.
best technology.
The best
You
minds.
can't get there without the money.
But like Rulani he's yesterday. Man.
Yeah, but he got
But I
into a
think he
system
also
that works
understands
and he
modern
understands football. He's a good
Yes.
coach.
And his players
Yeah.
play for him. That's all you want,
And
right?
he's
You might
young,
not be a
and that
good
also
coach.
means not stuck in his ways.
Where has Rulani not succeeded for you to criticize him?
Yeah.
Pirates.
At
Chippa
Orlando
He was
United.
No,
starting.
no, at Sundowns.
No, it's only fair. He was starting.
No,
and
where
then
he did
Pirates
not
in-
succeed,
At his age.
it was at Pirates.
He was
Yeah, but
starting
at
off,
his age is
basically.
what I'm saying.
That was his first gig as a head
Yeah.
coach.
That's
But
Okay,
also,
then-
who
like-
succeeded at Pirates for how long?
was
Also fair.
inexperienced.
It's not like he came in from a position of power and took over from
No,
a great
he was
team.
a youngin and went up the
Even
ranks.
so, right?
So it's fair to say he still needs to prove himself, but it's not fair to criticize him.
No, I think no.
I think
He
he's
has
doing
proven. He's
exceptionally
already
well.
He
proven
has proven
himself.
himself.
I think you have to. It's like saying that Pep Guardiola's had to prove himself
100%.
anywhere because every club he's been at has been top.
exactly.
No, but Pep also started from the bottom
Where's-
and he went up.
At
The bottom,
Barca.
Barcelona.
No, not at Barca.
Yeah, Pep
At
only coached the
Barcelona
best
B.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He did start.
He's very intentional about where he goes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
if
That's why he
there's-
does so well. That's why he does so well.
So does money help the situation for
Of
him?
course it does.
Absolutely.
Even
Okay.
the referees will be nice to
I
you.
asked Man United if money helps because they got lots of it and they spend it well.
No, the Glazers
And
are spending
Chelsea.
the money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why
they
they
don't
didn't
know
buy
how
it
to spend
because-
their money.
Anthony's
They
the
bought
best
Anthony.
example.
Are you gonna go there?
Even now.
Guys,
It
they didn't
hurts my
have
soul.
Maguire in the defense.
So, CAF Champions League, let's wrap that up and move on with Tepi. But the draw for the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League will take place next week, Tuesday, and we will bring you that draw on Onside ZA,
Yeah.
brought to you by Betway. Get way more on Tuesday evening, the 12th of March.
Yeah, and I
right
believe
now,
also the Nedbank Cup draw has come out. The next fixtures, but I'll just post them on our socials so that you can have an understanding
Yeah,
of what's
just-
happening, when, how.
remember to follow us on our new social media pages, Onside ZA on Instagram, Twitter, or X rather, TikTok and Facebook as well.
Are
And
they up?
Onside ZA.
No, I mean the Instagram and.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they're back up. Okay, I was just checking.
I never had an issue.
Oh, you
Don't-
mean like the meta?
I
Yeah.
didn't-
Yes.
I did not
The
have issues. It's
metaverse.
so weird.
Phone Mark Zuckerberg in his bunker. And also, don't forget to follow Onside ZA Super Sub or
Yes,
Super Sub
it's,
_ Onside ZA on
Super sub
Instagram.
_ onside ZA.
On Instagram. Right now, though, we are going to leave the African continent and
friend.
join Tsepi on a little flight. This is Around the World
Aviator.
with Tsepi Worldwide. Aviator!
Okay, cool. We got you.
He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back.
This is Around the World with Tsepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway. Get way more.
Okay, so let's go to MLS in the United States. A referee, his name is Gehem. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. Gehem Sereta or Chereta was removed from the official crew from Inter Miami's match against Orlando City. The match was set for 4:30. The kickoff was on whichever channel. I'm not going to mention them. They don't pay us. But
Yo.
the story is this. No, they're organ trained. Like, why?
I'm just saying, yo.
No, you don't hear them say Onside ZA. Anyway, so the story is this. he was found on a social somewhere, guy. He was wearing a T-shirt of Miami, Inter Miami, and because of that, he was removed.
This is why
as
I
an
like
officiator.
England. This is why I like
I
England.
think
Because all,
Coutinho, if you go check somewhere, he was wearing Liverpool T-shirt somewhere down the line.
Like,
Klopp and him don't gel, my man. We know the situation.
this is why I love England, because all of the top referees and all of the top commentators, etc., try and figure out if you've ever heard the name of the clubs they support before. Do you know what I'm saying? They all support guys in like League 2 or in regional leagues or whatever. It's their local football club, and they stick with that club. They don't have a major team or whatever.
I think they
And it
hide it
removes a
really
lot of the
Of course,
bias.
it's
They
just-
hide
I
it
think
well.
they hide
I mean,
it
are
really
you
well.
telling me that these people, it's like you are a coach in the DStv Premiership, you are an avid Mamelodi Sundowns supporter, but now you need to support Mapuna FC.
Well, we're talking
know,
about
look like you
referees being
support.
impartial.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
know?
but like, let's make an example, right?
Yes.
I sit here, I don't support any local teams.
Of course you don't.
See? Because I need to be
Are
impartial.
you a referee?
Eh?
Yeah, so the begs the question. I mean, the reality is that once again, it's an ethical issue or a human issue. You know, you are a referee and you will follow football. I mean, that is your job. So that means you cannot support a team, because that clearly means that we don't really trust referees then in this case.
Well,
But-
it's
but
not.
that's-
Or is
Imagine.
it just,
I
just
think
them
it's
being impartial?
away from the referee himself. And I think the reason why this is news is almost like to focus on him and say that he can't be impartial.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the responsibility of the league to say you can't be impartial. You've been seen in an Inter Miami shirt. If an incident were to happen against Orlando City,
Yeah.
and Orlando City complained and said he's an Inter Miami fan,
Then
this
they
is
have
why
to
the decision went against us. You have to just mitigate all of those risks and replace him as a referee
Yeah.
and say you cannot officiate any Inter Miami games.
It's the easy
we do
solve,
this
yes.
we do this with international football all the time.
Yeah.
If
If you're from England, and
you're
You
from
can't ref it
Morocco,
anyways. And you want to you want to ref the final of the
exactly like that. So that's my view on that, darling.
Yeah, but even so I just dug a bit deeper into this referee situation, and it seems as though the PRO, which is the organization that represents the body that
Professional Referees
there
Association.
we go. So what is happening right now is that as much as they've had to Lofty, another one please. So as much as they've had to let go of this referee,
Striped
they
horse.
actually do not have enough referees, because there is some beef that is going on between them, as well as the PSRA, which is now the body, or the COSAFA, for referees, and they have not really reached a consensus. So as it stands, the MLS is actually going through challenges with agreeing with referees as to how much they get paid. So them having to even let go of this guy was, a problem for them. What's going on? What am I missing?
It's just Super Sub Animales. Americans like drama. Is this
Yeah.
even a story?
So the whole thing,
But from
the
where it
referees
started
and
to
the
what it
PA are
ended
not
up is
getting
really-
along. Yeah.
It's weird though. Like, it's an easy solve. Or as a referee, there should be a body of rules that you follow. Like, keep your club support in the download. Don't wear other club logos. There should be a set of rules. And if you,
you go through that when you do your training.
I'm pretty sure these guys. You telling me as boyhood supporters, if you from like Kearney, for example, he's from Manchester United. You telling me he doesn't support any Manchester United? Like Manchester
he probably does.
Come on, like how much better can you get?
Yeah.
Right. So you have to be impartial until proven otherwise.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I feel like Americans don't take football that seriously.
100%.
Join the
And
club,
maybe that's
finally.
why.
Hey.
Which one is this one now?
Okay, next story.
But we know, Avi, we know which team Howard Webb supported, eh?
Oh, we know.
we know.
Okay, cool.
We know.
Let's keep
And
it
who's his
moving.
favorite coach as well? Don't forget that one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're going to go move from the United States.
Just
and
made
let's
an
just
enemy.
Let's just come here to Africa. We're going to Egypt. Something quite interesting now, and actually something to be applauded. I had spoken a bit about this, but I did not have the details last week because my phone died. But Percy Tau now will pocket 23.4 million annually and he's going to be, as they say, one of the highest paid players on the continent. He's actually going to make 1.93 mil per month.
Wow.
So
Why did I break my
the
leg
story
in high
is that
school?
that's what he's making right now, and his salary could rise to 31 million from 23.2 M.
I think he's
I'm
single.
salty
Setty.
about Percy Tau.
I
The
think he's
uncle
single.
hats and the uncle. It's like my uncle who would have been pro if it weren't for that knee
If I didn't break
injury.
my leg, that guy didn't tackle me so bad.
Guys, may I ask? Is Percy married, guys?
That's what I'm saying. I think he's
We'll
single.
never know.
He
Yeah, we'll
will
never
be,
know.
darling, if he's not.
I'm there. Okay, yeah. And by the way, so the other player, by the way, may I ask actually, and all to the ballers. So Percy Tau is one of the highest paid. Which other South African player who comes second now after Percy's new increase is the highest player coming from South Africa who plays? It doesn't have to be continental, by the way.
I think either between Peter Shalulile, Bongani Zungu,
Bongani Zungu is high up there.
I think Bugazi Zungu is
yeah,
up there,
Keegan Dolly.
Keegan Dolly.
But is-
Dolly's there.
He was high. I think people have.
So are
overtaken
you
him.
asking which South African anywhere makes the most money? Because
Yes.
it'll probably be Lyle Foster because Premier League salaries
No,
are
no,
huge.
playing locally. In
No,
the
no, no.
DSTV
Oh, who
pool.
plays everywhere? Who's
Probably-
South African?
Oh, no,
who
it's
plays?
live.
It has to be Lyle.
Is it
Yeah,
Lyle?
it's live.
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, Premier League
But
salaries
guys,
are through the
There's
roof.
people playing everywhere else we don't know.
Yeah. Lyle, final answer.
Yeah, final answer.
Is it Jabulo Blom?
From MLS.
Yes.
Wow.
He plays for Minnesota and he makes 6.4 annually.
$6.4 million.
Yep. No, 6.4 million South African rands. It makes
No, that
338.
you can't be any more
Then
than
you
you can't
can't
be
be.
any more than Blom. I mean more than Lyle.
Lyle
He can't be
Foster.
Lyle.
Okay, guys, I have a list here. Okay.
Okay.
And I have, okay, hold up. So it says here, Percy Tau right now, I get it with 31 million per annum, right?
Yes.
Jabulo Blom is the second best paid South African in MLS, earning 338K US dollars. That's 6.4 million with Minnesota. And then Bongegu Hlongwane outstripped him with earnings of 610, which is 11.6. So actually, Bongegu now is number 2. Former Sundowns striker Cassius Mlaula earns 291. Yeah, Mailula. He earns 5.5 million annually. That's 291.
I think they did not see Lyle Foster's pay
So
slip.
I just checked now. Lyle Foster is earning $1.3 million annually.
Wabon.
Aye, so that's big.
Wabon, exactly. And Uhlongwane is earning 11.6. No, $1.6 million.
$1.3
No,
million.
wait, he gets
gets
paid in
pounds,
pounds.
Okay, it's 1,040,000 pounds.
Huh?
Yeah, so it's
Per
they
month.
they
So that's
converted to
multiple-
$1.3
yes.
million dollars for him on that website. So
Per
I
month?
get it.
Annually.
And Wabon, exactly. So how much is that?
He's
in
still
South African
less than
rand?
Tau.
20 million.
He's still less than
20
Tau.
million rand a year. So it's less than Percy
He's
Tau.
still less than.
All I know is that he drives a Lamborghini.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
Blom,
he could have got that
6.4.
sponsored.
That's
He's
also
earning
true.
more, way more than Blom.
I'd rather cry.
Yeah, he's number 2. But again, Percy Tau is still up there.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking about Blom, who's like
Yeah.
6.4.
No, that was a shocker.
Yeah, I was like, poof.
But also, again, I'm salty about Percy Tau. He gave
Why,
me
Frank?
15 minutes of hope against City, down that right wing.
I remember.
I've never been so salty, just to be like, you gave all that away to come back and play on the African continent.
Well, it begs the question. I mean, is African leagues that competitive, and do people make their money as well?
It is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Uti,
Well, it looks like he makes money.
Arshaf, who does Arshaf Hakimi play for now?
PSG.
He plays for PSG. He's also one of the highest earners. And when he was playing here in Africa, he was also one of the highest earners. In fact, Moroccan teams and Egyptian teams are the ones that pay the most.
Yeah, but look at his
Like they
way.
pay a truckload
Here.
of money.
Real Madrid, PSG,
Yes.
and he put everything on his mother's name, so nobody's taking it.
Yeah, I can
So
we
it's
know what
locked in.
happened.
It's locked in.
Go from
Locked in.
Amsterdam.
Locked in.
Did
He
we
might
go
not be
there?
smart at all. He might get a stepfather.
Yeah, Nobody thought about that one. Yeah, no, that wasn't
Exactly.
scripted. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all we have all white guys. We have a lot to talk about.
Awesome. Thank
yes,
you,
there's
darling.
this situation with the blue card.
We'll get to that, I
Yeah.
think, yeah. That was Around the World with Tepi Worldwide, brought to you by BETWAY. Get way more. Back to the comments, legendary me asking if CAF uses goal difference or head-to-head. I think that's interesting enough to talk about.
Head before goal difference.
Ask Pizzo, he will tell you.
Yeah.
It's head-to-head. Then
Was it 2012?
it's goal difference.
in that
Then,
group.
Yes.
then it's goals scored. Then it's away goals scored. So
Yes.
So head to head
that
first.
is the system. in CAF Champions League.
Yes,
Nice.
that is correct, sir.
Okay, moving on swiftly. Speaking of Champions League, we've got UEFA Champions League action.
Tonight.
And the teams are about to kick off. But importantly, with some major teams knocked out leading up to the round of 16.
Which team was knocked out? I'm just
I wanna
asking
hear,
for a
even me.
friend.
Please, every time I'm here, I'm abused. You can enter now by placing any bet on the BETWAY app in the UEFA Champions League round of 16 matches and going to a draw to win one of 200 750 Rand sports bonuses every game week, plus up to 50,000 Rand in cash prizes after both legs of the round of 16. The more you bet, the more entries you get. Terms and conditions do apply. You can get that promotion on the BETWAY app now. Just click on the banner to opt in.
Winners know when to stop.
Yeah, they really do.
So wait, let me ask a question. Since I broke my leg, that
Oh,
can
1
get
minute
me
into
close
Champions
to-
League, ladies and gents.
Okay, that can get me close to being close to Percy Tau's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only.
Level.
Well, yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Okay, so how old are you now, Lemoleko?
21. Real age on his soccer card.
From what I understand, even Tebogo Mokoena is too old for the Premier League right now. So
Which one is it?
Soccer age or real age?
Yeah, we know how that works. Yeah.
So kicking off in the Champions League right now, Bayern Munich against Lazio as they trail 1-0 in aggregate. They now have the home fixture, which in my bet slip, which you can see the booking code is in the description below if you do want to match my bets. I did say that Bayern Munich would beat Lazio in that one.
I'm crossing fingers for Kane, yo. He deserves this.
It just depends.
What?
He deserves a trophy.
The Champions League,
He's got,
not
the
this
Audi Cup.
Bayern.
He's got the Audi Cup.
And the Asia Cup. Yeah.
Didn't he win the Tiger Cup?
Yeah, the Tiger Cup. Yeah.
Oh, you guys, I can't say it anyway.
Real Sociedad hosting PSG as PSG lead that fixture 2-0 on aggregate.
I think that's done.
I think that's done. Real Madrid leading 1-0 against Leipzig on aggregate as they kick off in Madrid. And Manchester City with a nice, hefty, fat 3-1 aggregate scoreline to take home to the City of Manchester Stadium. Guys,
Do it again.
the
think
Champions
so.
League.
It's possible.
Who's challenging them?
Real Madrid.
The team that scores 4 goals in 15 minutes.
Ooh, Safa, you
They 1-0 to Porto. Yeah.
They need to get through Pepe first.
Yeah. 40-year-old
I
Pepe.
feel like you saw how they struggled against Porto, my friend.
Yes, no, I know.
It's quite an open game. I think Arteta
That's
didn't
a
really
way-
go
I
for
mean,
it.
that
Listen.
final and after 90th minute was
As
just
a
like
Portuguese person,
yes.
I've not been
Safa.
lucky enough to travel to the Dragao, but I'm well aware of how hard it is to play there.
So the
It
third-
is a tough
Yeah.
place to go.
Except
So
if you're
Arsenal
Liverpool.
can really turn this around.
Man United also know this very well.
Yes.
Liverpool don't know this. Just,
They
yeah.
will. soon
Well, listen,
enough.
they've suffered there.
Flowers.
They just somehow came out.
Yeah, with 6 goals
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay, so to the Champions League action, like I said, my booking code is below. Actually, I'd like to bring up those bets there. Shots, if you can bring this up for us to have a look at. And-
Shosha, are you sleeping?
If you can bring this up for us
nice
there,
to-
Shots, thank you very much.
I love you.
These ones are quite interesting, right? 'Cause-
I went for a Bayern Munich win.
yeah. They're heavy
I do-
favorites, right?
Yeah, so the odds are 1.29, so they're quite heavily favored. So that is the one fixture. Well, I went largely with some safe bets.
Yeah.
Sociedad versus PSG. I just figured it would be over 2.5. I fancy both these teams to score. So I think like a 3-1 will happen there, and I think PSG will go through on aggregate. But I didn't want to choose a winner in this game because if it's 2-1, for example, to Real Sociedad, I still get paid out on that bet because it's over 2.5, and PSG will still progress. So I do think PSG will progress, but the odds weren't as good on that. So I decided to go for an over 2.5.
That's a smart way to go about it because a natural person would just look at Sociedad and how they're doing in the domestic league and the like, and they're not doing as well.
Yeah.
They're in seventh position. So that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, so even if Sociedad were to win this because PSG don't have
But
the
you're not
same
gonna
level of
lose.
motivation to win,
Yeah.
I just think I fancy a couple goals in this in Spain.
They're largely attacking team PSG.
Yes,
right?
Mhm.
Like, if you look at
absolutely.
every single player,
Yeah,
bar Ugarte, who can also score a goal
Yeah.
from about 30 yards, they are largely attacking teams. So makes sense.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Why did you choose Bayern?
I just fancy them to get a win. So I don't necessarily fancy them to go through. They are favorites. They are at home. I do think that they will overcome Lazio. And it might be a 2-1 and they still go out.
Lazio's odds are above 9.
Yeah. So
Not to only make it through to win this game.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, they are above 9.
Yeah.
They actually
So-
got 9 on the
If
dot.
they
9 on the dot. So
Yeah,
that just came down.
so-
So it's ridiculous.
yeah, that's
Crazy.
why I went with
if they can
Bayern.
pull it off, that's good money.
But the thing is, I think they can.
They
That's
can.
the thing.
Oh, they can. Absolutely. Look, listen, this is football.
No, of course.
And that's the thing about Champions League.
will
I see
kill you
Soweto
real
Derby.
death.
I
You
see
will die.
Nedbank
You
Cup.
will die.
We know what happens when tactical Tommy gets too tactical.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not score at home if they don't? With the likes of Kane, Kingsley Coleman, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané,
And I mean,
Musiala.
Musiala.
Guys,
Yes.
how do they not score 10 goals
too
again?
many Spurs players. Eric Dyer.
I don't want to get into the
I
discussion.
know.
again.
I didn't even see that coming.
I went with Manchester City and over 2.5 because they were such heavy favorites
Yeah.
that I wanted to boost my odds there a little bit. So now
Bob's
my odds
to
are
score hat trick.
1.41 on Manchester City and over 2.5 in the Copenhagen game. Once again, it can be a 2-1 win to City, and that will still qualify me. Real Madrid and over 2.5 against Leipzig.
You
Really
reckon?
interesting one.
I think I
think so.
again I wanted to boost my odds ever so slightly, but I do think Real Madrid will win the game. The over 2.5, I think that Real Madrid could just get this at like a 1-0 or a 2-0. Do you know what I'm saying? So
point.
that concerns me ever so slightly.
Yeah.
But I had to increase the risk ever so slightly as well to just improve those odds.
Remember, this Leipzig team is very exciting, right? Real Madrid's defense has been very dodgy recently. And how many times has Bellingham had to bail them out?
That's also true.
This Leipzig team and the ethos of the club has a specific DNA. Look at the players that came from here. Szoboszlai, right?
Yeah.
Naby Keita. You got Haaland that came from there.
Kumano, what's his?
Yeah,
Yes.
Konate,
Yes.
Upamecano.
Yes.
Look at the caliber of guys that came from this team. That Sabitzer also came from here. Like, it's a great format for people to players to express themselves.
It reminds me
Okay.
of Monaco.
But I think
The Monaco
with
of
the
Wenger.
gegenpress. Yeah. So like,
Or even
it's-
after.
Yeah,
With
it's like-
Falcao and the likes.
Yes.
yeah, remember that. So I think this is going to be an interesting one because they don't have centre backs. Who are Real Madrid centre backs? Isn't Militao's out for the season?
Yes.
Outside.
They have a few-
Rudiger is foul.
Yeah.
Rudiger's
is-
out of favor. He's playing Nacho at centre back. Like, it's interesting to see what happens here. Their midfield kind of chemistry is not there.
Camavinga.
But look at
It's there.
guys. When I saw Real Madrid's midfield players, just their contingent, I'm like, how does anyone get past this? Forget Modric, forget Kroos, right? Camavinga, Tchouaméni,
Oh.
Valverde,
Valverde.
right?
what a
Bellingham, Diaz,
And look at what they're about to add to
Vinicius.
that squad.
Vinicius, like, and still they can't find they're proper Galacticos now, guys. Like of old, where they can't seem to string patterns of play together.
Yeah, listen.
That's a call for concern.
They killing in the La Liga. They, I
That's a
mean,
joke of a Liga.
but they they
It's
were
been-
robbed on the weekend. We'll get to that as well. Some of the ballers are mentioning it. They were robbed on the weekend by the referee. And
But he did blow before the cross came in.
But
I'm just
how do you blow then?
yeah. That's just terrible referee.
When you are taking, you know.
Yeah.
So those are all of tonight's fixtures that we went through. Heading over to tomorrow's fixtures.
No, next week.
Next week's
next
fixtures.
week.
Apology. Arsenal versus FC Porto.
I
I
would've
just
gone
went
three-
for an Arsenal
I
win.
would have gone 3.5 over.
In the first 10 minutes.
No,
In the first 10
Pepe.
minutes.
Your confidence is very high. Eh?
but
Hey.
I feel like they are going to. I think they saw what they did wrong.
Ballers.
And I don't think no.
Remember,
I see Arsenal
There's a
winning this
level
one.
of maturity and belief that Arsenal actually has now than they did last season.
You're right.
I
I'm
agree.
not saying they're going to
You're
win the
right.
league, but the
can
way
say
they
it.
are.
Might.
you
I think
you
they
can
will.
see
They
it though.
just
You
might.
can
I
see
think they
them
can.
playing with confidence.
Yes. Right? And this is without an out and out.
Is a win not
And
enough
there's a
for you
uniformity.
against
Like I
Porto
say,
in the Champions
uniformity
League?
in the Arsenal squad, friend. They
Also,
are
this
really...
is their second stint as a club, and they
Yes.
have Rice behind them. So I think it will be really cool. But, and this is a big but, who are they playing on the weekend after this game?
City.
I'll tell you.
Is it City or Spurs?
No, it can't be City because City
Spurs.
they're playing City at the end.
They're
at
playing
30th.
Brighton, or they're playing Brentford this weekend.
Brentford,
Ah.
yes.
Spurs
okay.
next weekend, I think. If it is Spurs, then it's an interesting one, right?
Yeah, then
because you can't go in
that's a bogey
hard.
team.
And in a game that you're losing 1-0, maybe play your first 11 for 60, try get
Yeah,
his
they're playing
first-
Brentford, yeah.
and then next week, Spurs.
No, it's next week City. You were actually right.
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
next week,
Moleko.
which even
So
worse.
that's
Okay.
after. No, but there's a break in between because that's the very end of March. So
That's the international.
There's the break.
Yes.
There's the break. So at least they can go all out against Porto because they don't have a game for a while.
So the thing is, I also think, right, it's a case of there's a lot of players that were injured that are coming back.
Correct.
So the bench is not as thin as it was,
Yeah. Yeah.
and which is what tripped them, I think, last season. Yes, we're not gonna
Yeah.
put down losing the league to not having Saliba, but
Yeah.
when you see him and his consistency,
Yep.
then you tend to understand why the trip happened. Because who's the boy that we sold? We were using a centre back as
Oh,
Kirantini.
Tierney, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he came in, but he was not as solid as
He's a left
Saliba
back.
is.
Yeah.
Yes,
He is a left back.
and
Yeah.
he was used as a centre back.
If Saliba and Gabriel stay fit, Arsenal are real contenders for this league title.
I think Martinelli and Saka are the big ones.
And
from an attacking point of
Odegaard.
view.
I think,
And even
Rice.
Havertz has been
Yeah,
fantastic.
Rice is, and like he's a freak.
So
And,
guys,
yeah,
he's a
he comes
freak.
in and he, yeah.
He's an absolute freak in what he can do.
So what happens if City beats Liverpool and then goes to beat Arsenal?
Then they win the league.
Then it's done.
yes.
Yeah. Easy.
So I think those
So
three.
March
no,
is
those.
it's
a
a
decider.
decider.
So
Yeah.
those two games are actually
Absolutely.
going to be swing games. As in like Liverpool versus City and Arsenal versus Manchester City.
Yeah.
Those are
gonna
going to
be
be
a
the swing
beautiful
game because
match
United, it's a walk over that thing.
It's not wrong. Okay. As we wrap up Champions League for the predictions for next week's games,
Don't cash out.
we've got. I've gone with Napoli and under 2.5. Look at those odds. So I fancy Napoli to beat Barcelona with all the injuries they've got next week. And
Barca's
I
so
would,
good.
and I
I
don't
would
think
have
this.
also gone the same
Listen,
route.
this is a big punt, but I had to increase the odds. And look at those odds, 9.4. You telling me that's impossible? Napoli
No.
and under 2.5 at Barcelona with the injuries that they've got? I mean, there's no Camp Nou. Barcelona don't have their own stadium. Do you know what I'm saying? So
that team, eh?
I
They don't have a coach.
I kind of like that punt. They don't have a coach. And then I went for Borussia Dortmund to finish things off against PSV Eindhoven at home with a win. So that's a wrap of my booking slip. You can still get that booking code in the comment section below on Betway. Get way more. And remember to opt in for the Champions League promotion where you can get your hands on one of those many 750 Rand sports promos, as well as up to 50,000 Rand cash prize, baby.
Legendary me, he's asking for 25% of your account balance.
Look at
Why am
where
I
his eyes
showing
are.
it?
Yeah. His eyes on the prize, man.
I like the
25%.
I
This
like
is-
the guy because he's not selfish. He just wants 25%.
25%. You know, he's
Yeah, he's not like 50%. It's not
I'll
about
tell you
100
what,
grand.
Legendary Me, send us a screenshot of your
Betway account.
Betway account and we will send you a top up.
And I'll match it.
Wow.
There we go.
Yay!
There we go.
There we go.
We like authenticity. Yeah.
So there we go, legendary
So
me.
this is where
There's
the
your
twist is. Legendary me, I want 25%.
of these ones. Okay. Sorry, you can't do things
We
twice.
were talking about how South African football works. This is how South African football works. Yeah, as those games still continue, still 0-0 in the Bayern Munich versus Lazio game, 15 minutes in, and Real Sociedad 0, PSG 0 for the final chapter of the round of 16 of the Champions League. Let's move on over to our second home, the Premier League. I see Tsepi's left for a drinks break or bathroom break or something. I think I should leave for this one now so you guys can talk about the derby.
Nah.
Soweto Derby.
We can talk about that one. We can talk about that one.
Look, were you surprised?
I was actually surprised by how low the scoreline was
Yeah,
at the end of the fixture.
like,
And I was surprised by how long Man United led that fixture. I think that Ten Hag got it tactically right for a vast majority of the game. I think that Onana is finally showing the levels of a goalkeeper. I mean, hugely responsible for the assist in the goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bruno Fernandes' assist, but he played Bruno in.
100%.
Good ball and great goalkeeping. So I think that it was promising to see Onana's performance and Ten Hag's astute tactical decisions until Ten Hag's astute tactical decisions went completely awry. And then Anthony is being brought on, the formations are changed, etc. when you're leading the game. And then it just got worse after conceding.
Yeah.
Was it Ten Hag getting his tactics wrong, or was it City getting their tactics right?
I think Ten Hag.
It's the latter.
City didn't change much. They
didn't.
kept pushing the entire game.
They swapped Foden after he scored the first goal. They swapped him on the left-hand side.
I mean, went in the middle, yeah.
Okay, look at it this way, right? And I've been thinking about it a lot, and I had a lot of hope on United's shoulders, and
We did.
I
The
don't
first
think
time
I
a
ever
Liverpool
celebrated.
fan has
said- Why did you do that?
We all did.
I don't think I ever celebrated a Rashford goal
way
more
you
in my
did.
life. But if you look at the similarities between Poch's City game and this one, the tactical tweaks in the second half is what made them concede. Right? Think about the style of play on the counter attacks. It was defensively astute. They kept De Bruyne quiet. They kept Haaland quiet. And to be fair,
And
Haaland
Doku
kept
as well, eh?
yeah.
Ndoku.
Haaland kept Haaland quiet too for
Bro,
missing under the bar.
yeah.
But then, as soon as they make a tactical change, both him and
That's Tepi worldwide.
drinking zebras.
as soon as they made tactical changes in the
Thank you.
second half to be more defensively sound to further counter, that's when they both conceded. So Phil Foden's first goal was a stunner. No goalkeeper in the world could save that,
Fair point.
right? But the second goal, it's like there was no leadership, there's no style of play, there's no patterns. And then once the second goal goes in, they were susceptible to score many more or concede many more, just because everyone's heads dropped.
Yeah.
That's not a derby. Can we remember when Paul Pogba came through and saved United by scoring 2 goals to make it 3-2 after 2-0 down? That's what you want from a derby, and that's what you would hope to find.
Yeah.
There was just no bite anymore.
So, and I was asking somebody, I think it was last week ahead of the derby, does the Manchester derby actually still have that thing?
No.
I mean,
I mean, you can say the same thing. It's a derby at the end of the day. and
listen,
historically,
the
it
Manchester
will have
derby
influence.
had
because they are
that thing
neighbours.
for a short period. Do you know what I'm saying? The Manchester derby was nothing before City was something. Then for a short
don't think you
period,
can
it
say
was
that.
something.
I disagree. Yeah.
In England, come on, Marcus.
Yes,
Guys,
for
the
the
derby
people
was
who
done.
live
Ireland was
there.
playing for Manchester City. Okay, think about that, the Michael Owen derby, all right?
When he
But
scored
City
for
was something already then.
United- Yes, they were.
They
Was
had
Jorginho
spent-
part of that?
Yes.
Yes.
So City had
Because
spent
actually, I
big.
think after
Craig
he had
Bellamy
just
was
left-
in the team there already.
Was Craig Bellamy
He
part of the
Yes.
oil money?
scored.
Yes.
I know.
He scored
Yeah.
in that
I know
particular
Hughes
game.
was. Yeah, I remember that. He
Yes.
scored a crack.
And
Mark
Mark,
scored 2 actually.
yes, Mark Hughes was the manager. He was brought
That was
in
the
after
beginning of
Monica.
the new era.
Exactly.
Yes.
They didn't split. I don't
So-
think Robinho was part of that.
No, he had
He was
just
a net.
left.
Yeah, he
But
left.
So he was not at City anymore.
Oh,
But
okay.
he had been bought, I think, a season or 2 seasons before that.
Robinho.
I
can't even remember.
So it's who was there?
Robinho was part of that squad. I don't think he was playing that day,
Yeah.
if I recall correctly.
I know they had
But he
Stephen
was part-
Ireland. I know they
Yes.
had
Right.
Right. Yeah, right. Phillips. Yeah.
Sean Wright Phillips.
I know they had Bellamy scored 2 that game.
Yes.
But like there was still a bite in it. Even like for example, look at the derbies that exist now.
Okay,
Toonside and stuff.
yeah.
No matter how low the teams are, that's what they fight for. That's their pride
It's a
and joy.
derby. We saw Newcastle
Yes.
and
Sunderland.
Sunderland. that was
But
a
like-
good game.
Sunderland is nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So
they
I,
went
so I
in,
agree
yeah.
with you. In England, the derby, in those localities, the derby will always matter. But we were just saying that the Soweto derby doesn't have the luster that it had because the teams don't perform. So we have to say the same thing. The Manchester derby was nothing for
I
anyone
think
who's not
you
there.
don't see it that way because you're at the end of the bad results. I think so.
Or bad performances.
The thing is, I understand where you can see what the derby meant to Marcus Rashford. You can see what the derby meant to Phil Foden. But what the derby means in a football context is much less now than what it was during that period where City and United were. Do you remember ever speaking about a Manchester derby before Manchester
money.
City were a club?
Well, I was
They
young.
were relegated most
In
of the time.
1998, we were speaking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Manchester
And,
derby.
I
and
didn't
Manchester
even know
City
about Premier League.
and Manchester City.
But does it also mean that just because Manchester is not then a more formidable side, that the interest has dwindled?
I think it will have naturally. I think that the Manchester derby in those times before Manchester City were anything, it was the Liverpool game.
So let me.
That
That's
was
what
the
I'm
derby.
saying.
I was go-
yeah.
Kenny
That's a
Dalglish.
rivalry.
Let me tell you something, right? So like even when Roy Hodgson, and
was at Liverpool.
irks me to remember this, was Liverpool manager, I would go into the derby with the expectation that we were going to get smashed, but the hope that we put in a performance.
'Cause
Think
it's a
about
derby.
it. Even when Berbatov scored a hat trick, Steven Gerrard scored 2 goals, including a free kick, to make it 2-2. I believed that was an entertaining game. You know, those kind of matches. Wayne Rooney came back to win it 2-1. Right? He scored 2 goals in that game. So like my things are, it's still that kind of thing for us. And maybe the clubs are at different stages, but historically they're better, and maybe that's the difference here.
Let
but
him
yeah.
podcast saying it started being more, and it started to be being more on a level when City brought in Silva and Kun Aguero, in his opinion.
Yeah.
But remember,
that era.
so with,
Yaya
with,
Toure.
with the Manchester derby, right? I remember this game very vividly. Remember the Wayne Rooney overhead,
Yeah.
Yes.
the passion that you could see in that game.
Yeah.
It's not there now.
But isn't that
Marco's
just
right.
football?
Both
That's
teams
just
are
the
fighting for
standard of
title.
football now?
Manchester United won the title after that game
Yeah.
against City.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think
So
that
Manchester-
was the heyday of the Manchester
Statistically,
derby.
Manchester derby is still within the top 5 in the world.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Manchester
because we
United
watch.
is the most supported club on the planet.
And that's what I'm saying. Once the top team is not doing as well, then the interest dwindles. And that's why we find that Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs right now, as much as they are popular, but they're not doing well. So people do not have as much interest if they start to do
I'm
well.
saying if your
You're
team
right,
is
actually.
getting walloped all the time in the derby,
Who
you
cares?
will feel like the derby does not have that thing.
Exactly.
Okay, let me ask. Question in 2 parts. Question in 2
feel?
parts, right?
Yeah.
Is the Milan derby, is it still a thing?
Yeah, it is.
That's how I would like to think.
Yeah.
When we were the 90s growing up and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
AC Milan against Inter Milan was
Derby della Madonna.
But you see, is the
still
Man-
top 2.
So like
Which
now,
one is first?
And they still-
is
It's
it
El
a Madrid
Clasico.
and a yes, Clasico, obviously.
Yes,
I was
El
going to get to
Clasico
the
is
gonna be
Clasico
that
as well.
one.
That's the
Yeah.
second part.
but
Number
El
one.
Clasico, those teams have always been competitive.
But
You know
even
what I'm
so,
saying?
like a
Even
Barca
though-
right now
does
is
the
not.
Clasico still have?
No.
Once again, then begs the same
That's what I'm-
question because Barca is not.
Or in Madrid either, right?
But
Yeah, even the
Messi
yes,
and Ronaldo kept El Clasico burning.
for over 10
Okay,
years.
so then-
Yes, so it's longer than it
Yeah,
should
so
have.
who keeps the
After
fire
they left,
burning?
we
But
were
I
like,
think-
it was a bit flat. But
I think this is the perfect example, actually, is that we were talking about the Milan derby. Yeah. In the 90s, in the heyday of those 2 Milan clubs, that was the derby ahead of any derby.
Yes.
El Clasico is normally the derby ahead of any derby because both teams, even to this day, as much as we're saying Barcelona's not at their peak,
Yeah.
it's still Barcelona is way more competitive than Man United versus Man City. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's still like a big derby. And the Manchester derby is still a big derby in terms of the club's support, what it means to the league, etc., etc. It's still a big game.
Yeah.
But it's not the derby that it will have been when Man United were competitive. And I think
what I'm
that...
saying.
I think that...
But we can't say that the
I'm
derbies
still
no
a-
longer have that thing because United is not competitive.
Okay, I'm gonna throw
I
another
think that
spanner
it's
in
just
the works.
slightly less important, but it's still a derby and it's still important.
But does it also not matter that we have so much access to so much football at the same time that we just might not have as much interest as we did in the past?
It's not that. I'm gonna throw another spanner in the works.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Are derbies still a thing?
I
They
think
should be.
Yeah.
They are still a thing.
I'm a sucker
Hey,
for a
Londwa
derby.
Nkobo says the Brazilians take derbies extreme, and I think that's
Yeah.
Argentina
But they're a
as
soccer
well.
nation.
Argentina, yes.
Yeah,
Because last week we were speaking about the you said the name and Celtic against
Rangers.
Rangers, the old firm.
Yeah, the old firm.
Is it still a thing?
It's very much a
Mara,
Very much
because
so.
are we really? Are you? Do you show interest in it for you to even know that it's a thing? That's another thing, friend.
Yeah.
Do you really put in the effort to find out if that is actually still popping? Because I promise you, the people that are interested in that league will tell you how big a derby it might
It's
be.
so
or
difficult.
is.
I've got a friend that was looking for derby tickets for this past weekend. He couldn't get.
You see,
They were sold out long ago.
that's it.
I'm never going to argue that the derby is not important for the people in that region. I'm just saying that the international splendor of a derby, even though the Manchester derby is still a big one, I'm just saying it's less than when they were both in their pomp. Like that Wayne Rooney bicycle kick that will have been the most watched game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even though a lot of people will have watched the Manchester derby this weekend, I think there's a lot of people who would have been tuned out to it in general, and there was less hype around it other than the fact that everyone just thought, well, Haaland scored 5, so United are going to get a whipping. And I think that most people who would have tuned in, who normally would watch other fixtures,
You can already
they
anticipate.
tuned in maybe just to watch United get hammered, because
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
And it's
fans of
nice
a
to
lot of
watch,
clubs.
Yeah.
But for me,
It's nice to
Marco,
watch for others, yeah.
Yes.
It's also the last game of the Premier League weekend, right? Well, on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On this weekend.
And also for
7:30, I
me,
think. Oh,
when you say
5:30.
United is less competitive, I mean, United have given Manchester City problems in the past.
Yeah.
They've beaten Manchester United,
Sure.
you know, and for me, that's what the derby represent. It does not matter where you
Anyone's
are in the
game.
league, what your past games were like. You,
You
go
bring
into
your
the
A
derby,
game.
you
Yeah.
go into the derby, you bring your A game,
That's
and then
it.
fans are excited.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a fundamental question. Past this, outside this weekend, what's your highlight moment of a Manchester derby?
Don't ask me.
There's so many. It's all 7-0.
The one, I think it was 2009.
See how far back it goes.
2011, I think when City won 6-1.
Why always
Why
me?
always me?
Why always me? You know, so
It's
But you
amazing that we
see-
still remember those moments, though, right?
So that's what I'm saying. You can't. You did not say anything about 2018.
but you said my favorite moment.
no. But
So
like,
it has to be one that is recent.
That stands out for you.
Also-
Come on, man.
Yeah. He's right, Len Moleko.
Was it a
King
6-1
Kia
or
saying
6-3?
it was 6-1.
6-1.
Why always me is 6-1?
Why always me was
King
6-1?
Kia, which derbies are still exciting, to be
Manzini.
honest. Barcelona versus Real Madrid, the thrill is gone. Manchester derby also. It's the same as El Clasico.
I think the North London derby is probably one of the
Yeah, it's
last
still got
ones
that.
left.
Well, especially with Ange, right?
Yes.
Especially with Ange. I'm not gonna lie.
does
It's gonna be
anyone even
exciting.
care?
Huh?
Which one is that one? Because the Sutherland and the Newcastle for me.
Oh, that's also
Tombstone.
that's
That
also
was a
yes.
good-
was to
Tyneside,
me.
Yes,
right?
Tyneside
All
is
the
also
passion.
very exciting.
Yeah.
Listen, but that's
Weir.
crazy.
Yeah.
Tyne Weir
Is
derby.
it Tyne Weir derby?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Sunderland is Weir side of the river and Newcastle's on the
Newcastle's the
Tyne
other
side. So
Oh.
it's the Tyne Weir derby. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if everyone around the world knows about the Soweto Derby, and to anyone who knows anything about South African football, and to many who don't even know about South African football, you'll hear British podcasters talking about the Soweto Derby.
Yeah.
So we know that derbies are big to the people of the communities.
So Soweto
etc.
derby is well marketed.
It's
Ian
my
Wright put
issue-
it on the map.
My issue with
I
Soweto
agree.
Derby is the football display.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's
It's
lacking in the
disappointing.
derby.
That's lacking.
Yeah, it's a letdown.
Atmosphere,
Everything is
camaraderie,
like-
It's
the
a vibe.
people,
It's a vibe.
everything is amazing besides the performance.
So what do we say to the teams? Let's ask them now.
Please just play attacking football. Try.
No,
There's a
entertain
camera
us.
there, friend.
Oh, please try, guys.
Yeah, it's
Please try.
you know, it's like you pay. It's actually even the most expensive game to go to.
Yeah.
By far.
You pay your 80 rand from Pampirstad and
And you take a bus all
and you
the
take
way.
a bus all the way
For
Yeah.
nil-nil
for a
draw.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like driving all the way, not getting late.
That vibe doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, let's move.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're done about derbies. man.
Okay, we're done with the Manchester Derby. I think that Ten Hag got it tactically wrong with the substitutions,
Fair
but
point.
overall, I think that it was still better than what was expected, probably by many and most.
Yeah.
Even if you look at what Betway's odds were before the fixture kicked off, I think, it showed that the odds, when you even choosing overs, it was like the only time the odds start to look attractive is like 4.5.
Yeah.
Mm.
5.5, etc. And you're like, wow, this
a clear
looks like
indicator.
it should have been a rout.
But derbies are usually cagey
Very,
games.
yeah, exactly.
They're very cagey
That's
games.
what's expected, right?
Yeah. You need to choose your team smartly.
Shall we move on to Arsenal? Sending fans home early since 2024. Even earlier than at the Olympic
Halftime,
Stadium in London, where halftime with West Ham fans flooded out. I think it was the 15th or 16th minute. Sheffield United Stadium was empty.
Yep.
It's
must be
like I
really
said,
hard, though,
said
being a
earlier
Sheffield
on. There's
supporter.
a vibe about them. There's
Odegaard early goals.
he is
This is the second week in a row.
the
Do
quality
he
of
scored
goals
within
as
5
well,
minutes?
guys.
Crazy, man.
to the so I've been asking myself this. Maybe Super Sub can assist me because he's also a Real Madrid fan. I don't understand why Real Madrid got rid of Odegaard.
It's the
Who is he
same-
going to be better than?
Yeah, it's the same scenario as.
That's a good question.
You remember when Mourinho got rid of Kevin De Bruyne and Salah?
Okay.
But
Look
who is
now.
Odegaard? Okay, who is
Yeah.
Odegaard better than at that time? He was the wonder kid, bought at 16,
Yes.
like Vinicius Jr.
Yes.
Think about it, eh? And different
What is it?
position, same concept.
Yes.
16-year-old bought from a foreign country, brought into the setup through the youth development teams, loaned out. Cool. Vinny stayed. There's a reason why Vinny stayed. Right? Odegaard got sent out to Real Sociedad and did well.
Yes.
Right? Came back to Real Madrid, didn't do well. Because there's too much expectations put on him. But also, look at that midfield. Casemiro, Cruz, Modric, Isco, Ozil.
What do you expect?
Bro, he wasn't there yet. But that doesn't mean he's not a player.
So somebody was actually even asking me. I'm in awe speaking about
The
Odegaard.
passion, yes.
Rightfully so, though.
It's
Because like the Kevin De Bruyne example.
100%.
I hear you, but I'm just like the succession plan, right? Because Modric and Kroos are coming towards the end of their careers,
Yeah.
right? Is it maybe a case of, okay, cool, Odegaard and his agent were like, yo, if we're not getting first team games or what,
Could be that.
we are out.
How old is Odegaard?
He's still quite young.
25.
He's
He's
25.
very young,
He's
yes.
25.
Yeah, but think about
I mean,
it, right?
he was signed with Real Madrid at 16.
16.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, succession plans are one thing. Real Madrid and Barcelona don't have time to wait. Phil Coutinho was a succession plan for Xavi and Iniesta. Technically. Am I wrong?
I mean, they
I
didn't
hear
even
you.
give
That's
them
why-
the
that's
young
why
man.
We all thought it, guys.
Yeah.
Including me. When I knew Phil after he broke my heart, going to Barcelona, how can you take a South American and tell them not to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, right?
Not gonna happen.
If you're going to replace like for like or even close to that Busquets, Iniesta, and Xavi contingent, Phil Coutinho was the flair player. Why didn't he succeed? They just couldn't wait for him to gel. If the balance
They
is
did that
off,
to Ansu.
huh? Ansu Fati, Arthur
Oh,
Melo,
snap, yes.
Yep.
Yes,
how
yes,
many
yes, yes.
midfielders came and went?
Yeah.
Only Frankie de Jong did really well, and he plays next to Xavi and Pedri.
I
Not
think-
Xavi. He plays next to Pedri and Gavi.
Gavi, yes.
16 and 18-year-old guys.
Yeah, I think Mulawudzi's got a good point here. Odegaard didn't want to be a backup player. That's why he wanted to be
And that's what you
granted
said?
permission to leave.
Cabello was even
Yep.
before
That's more-
Odegaard, and he even went to Arsenal. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Ceballos, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was older than him.
on
Yes.
loan, and Real Madrid were prepared to sell him to Arsenal, but he wanted to compete
And
for
he's
his
still
place
back at Real
Madrid.
Madrid winning Champions League and stuff, even though he doesn't play. But that's what I'm saying. Put Odegaard in any other setup. Odegaard was great because he showed his qualities last season, but it was too much for him. I think they all ran out of steam.
Yes.
Put a Rice behind him, put a combative midfielder next to him to allow him that free role to pull the
Coutinho.
strings.
Bring
Yeah.
in
Look
a
at what he-
world-class attacking player like Kai Havertz.
Oh, definitely. That false nine.
Again, somebody
Bobby
who's
Firmino
playing
regen.
very well.
Somebody who's
Playing
was,
very well the last few weeks.
Yes.
we can.
It
and
was a flop.
I'm sorry to use this word. I was gonna say failure, but flop is nice. No, at Chelsea he was.
Dang.
He was.
He was.
He was quality coming from the German league.
Yes.
But sometimes
and Timo
acclimatizing,
Werner
guys.
had to go back to the German league because he was such a flop. And Havertz, I'm surprised.
And Mikel
that he-
Arteta was like, you know what? I'm gonna have faith in you. I'm
Yes.
gonna play you
Only Mikel saw the vision.
and a plan.
Yeah.
There was
Only
a
Mikel saw
plan,
the
and
vision.
he
I
knew
didn't.
it fit
because
into
all the even myself as an Arsenal fan, I was like, this guy is frustrating.
Yeah, what is his plan? Like, what are you trying to do?
And it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
what's going on?
But that's my thing, right? Odegaard has a free role. He still does the things he did last season. But if you look at his defensive output, it's not as like they're not as reliant on him to get back because Rice covers so much
Yes.
ground, guys.
Yes, he does.
Rice
He's where
is
he needs to be.
He's the
Him.
catalyst to
Yeah.
allow.
He's
Why
excellent.
did Hazard do so well in the 10? Or why did David Silva do so well in the 10? Who
Because
did they have behind them?
so David Silva had
Fernandinho.
Fernandinho,
Kante.
yes,
Before that, Yaya Toure.
Hazard had Kante.
yes.
Guys, you can only get the best out of your players in the right system. De Bruyne is not a midfielder. He's a 10.
Yes.
What about Al Neni?
Ah.
The Egyptian
Egyptian,
Messi?
yes. The Egyptian Yaya Toure.
Okay, so congratulations to Arsenal, absolutely flying at the moment with 30-something goals this year.
Mad.
I still think we must donate some to Kaiser Chiefs. I still think
They could use.
Are you scared of running out of steam?
It's scary.
You
This
know what I'm saying,
train
right?
is,
Yes.
At some point,
You know what
it's
I'm saying?
uncontrollable.
I get you.
It's scary.
But I think there's a swag that was not there
Ne?
last season.
Yeah.
And
I
second
think so.
Peaking
to
at the
life.
right time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I think Arsenal
And
were
especially after their December, and you saw how dismal the December was.
Yes.
It's so nice to see them come up the way
we
they
forget that Arsenal were flying all of last season until
Yeah.
the very end. And I think that, again, Gabriel and Saliba
Yes.
are critical. And
I
when
agree.
they disappeared at the end of last season, the rest of the squad disappeared. I mean, we Gabriel and Saliba have as many goals each as Man United's top strikers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Rashford's on 6 and Højlund is on 6 or 7 or something like that as well, or 5
Saliba's
even.
on 2 this
And
season.
Gabriel's on 5.
And Gabriel.
He's great in that
5
game.
Premier League goals.
You know what's the difference?
4.
How many times have you spoken about Raya in the last couple of weeks?
We don't even talk about him anymore because there's no need. We don't even
Big
talk about the
difference.
fact that remember there was a whole situation
Yes.
of goalkeeper number 1, number 2.
Yes.
We don't even talk about it anymore.
He hasn't improved.
Because there's no need because Saliba and my boy is there.
He hasn't improved.
Yeah.
He just had less to do.
Yeah.
I think we're just bored of talking
Dang.
about it. I
And
think
that
we're
But
just
happened-
he's
over
not in the
it.
Yeah.
limelight.
That's
When
a good
Raya is in the
point.
limelight and when he's challenged and when he's pressured,
That's true.
then maybe it's a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
When last time he's been questioned was a
December.
mess up. I think Liverpool game, right? The own goal. There was a
Yes.
mix up.
Yeah.
That was when Raya was pressured. That was the last time I saw Raya being pressured.
But that's sad for Ramsdale then.
I don't rate either of them, but I'm saying it's a great job. I honestly don't. I thought Ramsdale really, when he signed for Arsenal that first season, I was like, listen, I thought Ramsdale was the reason why Bournemouth went down. Honestly speaking, look at the Diogo Jota goal in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup semi-final, the one at the near post. Like, come on, Ramsdale. He can pull off incredible saves, but he also has a lapse in concentration.
Yes.
Shame.
Right. I'm just saying, against a City, against a Spurs attacking lineup, where Raya is going to be challenged, I think that's where the difference is going to make. Normal saves, you expect. I watch a lot of Arsenal games with obvious hopes. You can honestly. No, I'm just saying. Like, I want a
put
good
it out
football
there.
match.
Put it out
I want a
there.
good
It's
football
okay.
match.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I'll bring you the
You know what I'm
jersey next
saying?
week. It's right.
Yeah. So And again, everyone who I know that are Arsenal supporters know that I went to them personally and I congratulated them because they were the better team against Liverpool. But no one has challenged Raya yet. And it's because of the setup, it's because of the defensive prowess of the two centre backs and Rice.
And Rice.
Yep.
So we don't, when you don't give a keeper the opportunity to be scared, then he looks incredible.
When
Yes,
you don't
and when
give
the
the opposition
opportunity
a
presents
sniff
itself,
of the
then he's
ball.
ready.
100%. But
Yes.
that's great tactical awareness. Arteta
Yep.
knew that maybe if I'm playing out from the back, every single opportunity, let Raya go long. That first goal, Raya went long. Have you seen from the kickoff where Raya is now? He's at the bottom of that D. So from the kickoff last night,
Yeah.
they kicked to Raya and he spit it straight to Martinelli. So they're giving him the confidence of the ball early on in the game, and he's gaining that confidence.
So with what you're saying, right? Remember when Arteta first? No, it was actually Unai Emery. The playing out from the back.
Yeah,
Arsenal could not
Yeah.
string.
They didn't have the
passes.
players though.
Yes.
And we
Fair
know
point.
it takes a lot
You
of
need good
dexterity
players,
to play from
you
the
need
back.
A good goalkeeper as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's part of the play.
Peter Cech, I think, was the goalkeeper at the time. Yeah. It was difficult to do that,
He never played like that.
right?
His entire career, he was at Chelsea. Come on.
Another update.
Route one football.
Another update from Gift Real G saying Harry Kane has scored for Bayern.
Finally, good for
And
him.
He's been scoring though.
and PSG also
He's still
leading
not
in
gonna-
their
he-
fixture.
He's still not going to win a trophy, but yeah.
No, probably.
What's your
Nah,
beef
I
with it?
No, because they are.
bro?
No, it's just that
Spurs
Bayern
curse.
aren't
Spurs
going to win
curse.
anything. Bayern are out of their domestic
Spurs
cup.
curse.
We saw
They're
that.
not going to win their league. And come on, Real Madrid.
They haven't watched the Deutsche Pokal for a
Yeah,
long time.
Leverkusen
Like
is
that's Leipzig's
sitting on
trophy.
there.
Yes.
That's Leipzig's trophy. They've won it for the last like 2 years or
So
something.
league, I think Leverkusen is actually
Leverkusen
gonna.
is showing
they're
them
gonna-
that it's
they're
not
gonna-
gonna
they're
happen.
Push it all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Champions League. Bayern still has to. It's not the Bayern that used to beat Arsenal like there's no
no
tomorrow.
Thiago,
back in
yeah.
the day.
Seven,
No.
seven.
Yeah. There's City, there's Real Madrid, and there's Arsenal to deal with in the Champions League.
Dang.
So he's let
Arsenal.
that in. Huh? He's let that in.
No, but then I feel like
European
Arsenal is still a
royalty.
bit iffy in Champions League. I don't see them like that yet. But let's see what happens.
I think it's let's see how far we
Let's
can
see.
go because we haven't been in this competition for
That's
a
what I'm
while.
But
saying.
that's the interesting thing.
Experience, yes.
Which one does Arteta prioritize if he progresses?
I asked them that question
He's a
last week.
smart man. Let's see.
But honestly speaking,
Which one is easier?
The Champions League is easier.
no, that Arsenal team is prepared, like it's prepped for a knockout tournament.
The
I just feel
Champions
it
Yes.
League is
It's easier for
Easier.
Arsenal to win than win in the league.
from a knockout perspective.
Yeah, I think there's more
Because
Home and
competition
away?
around the league.
So there's it's 16s now, right?
Yeah.
It's quarters, it's 2 games, semis 2 games, and a final.
Yeah.
So that's what 5 games, right?
5
Yeah.
Versus the league, whereby you're not necessarily in.
at some point Real Madrid's there.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah, but then any dog can have its day when it gets to that one.
If
You
if-
see, legendary me is even saying only Real Madrid and City. Arsenal not even smelling the
But
semi-finals.
Real Madrid, not because they're playing well, because of their heritage.
It's
That's what I'm
experience.
saying.
It's their heritage.
They
It's
know
Carlo,
it. They
it's Don
get it.
Carlo.
Gift Real G is also saying Arsenal needs to even deal with Porto first. UEFA Champions
what
League
I
is
say.
easier.
No faith, Alen.
six goals, my friend.
But I saw you guys sweat under pressure though.
We will bring you our picks
Hey,
for
that
the
one will be
Premier League.
interesting, eh?
Yeah.
So back to the Premier League. Let's wrap this one up quickly as we've run well over time, as we do
Snap.
conversationally. Sheffield United, the biggest losers of the weekend, but another
Shame.
set of big losers. Vincent Kompany's Burnley 2-0 to
And I hear
Bournemouth.
Lal is back.
Lal is back.
Whether he's there or not,
cares?
like we've said,
Burnley's finished.
Well, I care.
Nobody cares.
you're not getting his millions. The thing is,
If you want to place your bets now, bet for Sheffield United and Burnley to both get relegated, and
Yeah.
then you can start having fun with who joins them.
Yeah, you're not gonna win a lot of money there. The odds are very high. However, they might just try to salvage some pride and cause a bit of upsets.
Ooh, Burnley.
Yeah.
Or Sheffield United.
Not Sheffield. No, they're useless.
but so let's look at this, right? And I think I said this earlier on that Cape Town Spurs saw we've got a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do we do? Out,
In
bring
the
somebody in.
Will Sam Allardyce save Burnley?
Yes.
I was getting to
not, not
that.
now. You
Yes.
bring them back up.
It's too late
Yeah,
now.
agreed.
Too late. They should have
left
done it in
yeah,
December.
they've
But
left it
then
for too
again,
long.
then they have to leave company.
But remember, at that point, we
'Cause
had
he
so
can still
much
bring them
faith.
up.
We also had faith in company, guys. We thought that he was going to lead these people into,
He-
you know, the
Burnley will be in the Premier League again.
the place of
just
milk
not
and
next
honey.
year.
I don't think their style
No,
of
as
play
in like in August.
fits
Yes.
their level of experience
just feel
and
like
They
their
don't
never
have
had
the
skill.
players
second
for the kind
plan.
of football they want to play.
You can't play a City football
with those players.
players.
We've said this before.
But also, if you look at Burnley, I understand people want to try and change the way clubs play and the way teams play, but you can't have a holistic shift like that from a Sean Dykes Burnley to a free
From helicopter
flowing,
football,
From
yeah.
helicopter to
Listen,
Guitar.
Burnley
Yeah.
wouldn't have been in that problem if they had kept Sean Dykes on the previous season anyway. They wouldn't have needed a Vincent Company to bring them back up.
Would have stayed up.
They would have stayed up.
They would have stayed up.
And Everton are going to stay up with Sean Dykes.
No, of course.
And the extra
think
4
so.
points that they've earned from the
Yeah, of course.
from,
That's
the,
a
A
big,
shame.
that's a
from
big
their
one.
litigators.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
shame, man.
litigators gave them a win and a draw.
Perfect
Yeah,
example is
minus
Luton
4.
Town.
yes.
That first half of the season, how Luton Town played was like a prime Burnley / Stoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look how they play now. They might not be winning games, guys, but
Nah.
there's more of an opportunity for them to win a game
Yeah,
and
they
get a
keep their heads
draw
above water.
than Burnley.
They do.
And they play good football,
They do.
guys.
They do.
Defensively sound, counter attack. They got Ross Barkley looking like a
And
pillow in the middle
and I've
there.
always been a big fan of Andros Townsend.
And yes.
I love
but, yeah,
Andros
but
Townsend.
look at that.
And he loves a punt as well.
Yeah, they do. Does Lakonga play for them?
La Conga is at Forest.
Forest.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Thought I saw it.
Yeah. So,
Elangas and Odoyi.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the
Forest also play good football, guys.
Yes, they have.
They have.
They
so
spend too
when we're
much money,
looking
though.
when we're looking at relegation threatened sides, Luton Town lost to Aston Villa in a 3-2 stunner.
Naturally.
Yeah. Ollie
Villa.
Watkins scored 2 early goals, guys.
Yeah.
Like, they always go 2-0 down early on, try salvage, like against
Yeah,
United,
yeah.
right?
And then try salvage the game.
Try salvage the game. They come off the better team.
At least they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest
But
also
then we can say that about
somehow.
Liverpool with that Nottingham, the Forest match.
Yeah, so
You know,
Forest also
last minute.
flirting with relegation
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's between them, Luton, Everton, Brentford, Crystal Palace,
I don't see
maybe.
Everton there though. I'm not gonna
Every
lie.
single one of them lost their fixtures this weekend.
Yeah.
I think Brentford,
Luton, Palace, Forest, and Everton.
Brentford should be fine. Everton should be fine.
I think Forest will be
Palace,
fine.
in terms
Forest
of points,
might be fine.
They got Nuno, guys. Look at the quality of coaches. Nuno was a coach of, Bar Spurs. Nuno was a
Wolves.
coach of Wolves.
Yeah.
And he's got a
Gave
great way
City
of playing.
problems, that guy.
he
Right.
couldn't do it in Saudi.
He couldn't, but like, I think the Saudi league, the expectations are ridiculous. Look at all the players that want to come back now.
It's
Look at all
also
the
a
coaches that
different
are,
thing.
it's
The
weird.
amount
We
of
don't know
money
what's
that's
going
thrown
on
at
there,
you. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like,
China
Nuno's
League
tactical
2.0.
know-how, once he gets the front two, the chemistry right, because now he's playing what? Hudson-Odoi and Divock Origi.
Yes.
Fair play to them. They just couldn't finish, right? But then you still have Iwoni, you still have other players there to come through. He just needs to find that proper balance. And I think he's going to give people a hard time. If they go down, they're going to go down fighting, unlike Burnley and a Sheffield, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah,
So Burnley and Sheffield, I think they're already gone. They're
gone.
Yeah.
They
Their
seven.
tombstone are written.
They
Yeah,
are
guys.
7 points away from Luton. They are 11 points away from safety against sides that are playing good football. Burnley and Sheffield United are gone.
Yes. So it's between Luton, Everton, I think will be fine.
Luton, Forest,
Forest
you said,
and Brentford, but I think Brentford will be fine.
Brentford will
and
keep their head
Everton will
above
be
water.
fine.
And
But
Everton will be
it's,
fine.
It's
Brentford
very
has
close.
something that no one else has, and Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
He can single-handedly win any game of football.
Also true, and they're actually probably only flirting with relegation ever so slightly because they didn't have him for the first half of the season. But now with the back end of the season, he'll be there. They should be fine. And Crystal Palace are 8 points ahead of in the safe zone there, and Bournemouth and
Bournemouth,
uppers
yeah.
they're safe.
So Crystal Palace took too long as well to be decisive about
Roy.
parting ways with Roy.
Well, he decided
went to
for them.
hospital,
Yeah,
right?
because
Yes,
he got.
no, I know,
he
but
got
like,
ill and
done.
he was
they
like,
should have
okay.
they should have been very decisive last year sometime on some dude.
They
It's
you
been
can
real.
see.
Danko?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shame.
But they took too long. So
Loyalty.
it's the teams that are taking too long to be decisive and make decisions about getting a new broom.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully gonna.
But I think administratively that might also work against them. We don't know what really happened.
He
back
kept
then.
Olise. I'm just saying. Otherwise, you would have been in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just, okay, if you can do this, maybe wonder what you can make it to Champions League or something like that. But like,
It's looking bleak.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, so down at the bottom, that's what was going on. The three that are pushing for the title, they all won their games. Liverpool sneaking it at the death. I'm going to give you the floor to talk about this one, Avi.
yeah, listen, like I mentioned, can you see the
risky business, man.
excitement?
Yeah.
Listen, for the first time in a long time, I wasn't able to watch the match, right? But I was telling the guys a story of how my signal automatically came back when Nunez scored the goal. So I think that was a sign from above because God knew I wouldn't.
Guys, what about that officiating? There was some
Yeah,
drama about the officiating there.
was.
There was.
So maybe I don't know if you want to get into that or talk about the goal first, but
Talk
like
about the girlfriend.
I think it is a masterclass. We are down to the bare bones from a squad perspective.
Yep. For sure.
I think it's 11/2, so maybe 9 first team players. Key players being out. Best goalkeeper in the world, out. Best right back in the world, out. And not Reece James. Just saying. Best right back in the world, out. You got Thiago Alcantara, who can be a magician in the middle of the field. You got
Been
great prospects. You got Diogo Jota. They don't call him the slaughter for nothing. He came through at a time where we really needed goals when Mo Salah was out.
Yes.
Remember, Mo Salah was out for Afcon, right? But between Jota, Nunez, and Diaz, we compensated about 20-something goals and over 35 goals and assists between the three of them.
That's good.
In that space of time. So very crucial moments. And Jota, you could have the shittiest game in the world for 90 minutes, but in that 1 minute and one chance he has to slot,
takes it, yeah.
he will change the game.
Yeah.
So big names. Our complete front line was out. We had
Yeah.
no midfield. We had Joe Gomez playing in the 6. We had a 20-year-old Bobby Clark there in the middle next to McAllister trying to pull the strings. I mean, the fact that we came out of these last 4 games unscathed, winning a trophy, progressing to the next round, and keeping 4 clean sheets, guys.
And even Klopp
With a
was like, had you
16-year-old
asked me
at some
with
point
a
in
Nyoni
the
there.
mix of things.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Nyoni apparently.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nyoni.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, this is my boy.
Like even me, bro, I was so disappointed because I had to go through his profile and I'm thinking this better be a Nyoni.
Yeah.
Only to find that no, he's born in the UK.
Yeah, he's born in the UK.
Yeah.
So
I also
But
thought
then
he
there was
had
another man
heritage.
who used to play for football in Zimbabwe
Yeah.
and his surname is Nyoni. And
Yeah.
Shem, the man had to go to the news and say, this is not my son.
This is not my son. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it was a weird one, and I think everyone had given up hope from what I've read and what I've watched and the commentators, and then you need moments in time.
Yeah,
It's
you need
called a
Paul
sliding
Cheney
door
as well.
right? Sliding doors moment, and I think we wouldn't be Liverpool fans, and Liverpool fans know this if we didn't always have hope.
Yeah.
And I think only an Odegaard, only a really experienced, great midfielder would be able to do what McAllister did.
Yep.
And I don't think he put it on a plate for Darwin Nunez by any stretch. I think he put it in like the corridor of uncertainty because he knew Darwin Nunez and Virgil van Dijk was at the far post, and he thought, let's put it in. Take nothing away from that header.
Yeah.
I would not say Darwin Nunez is clutch, and everyone knows I'm his biggest fan. I'll die on that sword, right? But that was clutch. And you need sliding doors moment like that.
Yes.
For me, I think that could be the Macheda moment in this title race. Remember? The
Yes.
Macheda came in, scored
Yes.
through. I think it could be because you need moments
After
like
the
that,
Club
guys.
World Cup.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Every
the
Premier
ball
League
just doesn't
season
go in.
has that one moment that you look back and you're like,
Vincent
that's
Kompany
where it
against
came.
Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. I just think to keep us, firstly, making it as far as we are right now with the squad that we have, complete midfield revamp, not having anyone playing with the kids,
Basically.
right? And still making it through being in all competitions still, I think it's a testament to
And I
club.
mean,
Question.
as much as you say, when Marco, that it would be so romantic that they're bidding farewell to Klopp and then
Jurgen,
this
yes.
happens for them, that would be nice. Sorry, friend, you were saying.
No, I was going to ask Harvey.
Yeah.
The kids. Klopp has faith in them, right? What happens to...
Next manager.
Yes.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone can.
Listen, I don't think you can ignore it, but not every academy star makes it. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have record signings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think there's incredible talent. Conor Bradley, no one knew who he was. Has anyone missed Trent? Okay, I have. But,
Well, train to you can
but
see
from
when
a
it's not there.
performance perspective,
Well,
Yeah.
look at Conor Bradley's performance against Chelsea and tell me that is a 20-year-old kid that hardly played first team football, especially in a right back position that is dominated by what is considered the best right back in the world, right? So that is generational type of talent.
Yes.
But I'm not really worried about what the kids are going to do next year. I'm worried who can write their own stories now. Jaden Dance,
Oh,
18-year-old fuzzy head kid going and chipping the keeper to be
the
Southampton.
confidence.
Guys, you can't buy that. And that's what you want. You want to create an environment where no matter how many changes, and that's what we were talking about with the Odegaard and about
Structures.
people playing out of position.
Yes.
You want to create an environment where no matter where you play or who you are, you play like you're part of that team.
Yeah, it's conducive.
Bobby Clark was, he wasn't shy. Look at the evolution of the likes of Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott.
Yeah.
Right? No one knew what they were supposed to be. No one saw the vision. Klopp did. So I'm hoping the next manager sees that vision, but it's up to the kids to prove themselves.
That's true. Because
Fair
Pep
point.
does that too to the young boys.
Well,
They're all about out there.
hopefully it's not Mr. Alonso.
Guys, before we
because
close,
I
let's
think
have
it's too big.
predictions very quickly. Soweto Derby, who's winning?
0-0 draw. That's my
Saying draw,
prediction.
you
I
saying?
think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I also think 0-0, but I think Chiefs will win it.
I say it's going to be 2-1 to Paris.
Yo.
Yo?
Okay. Let's.
That confidence I never saw coming. Eh?
I
So
mean,
2-1 to Paris.
that's too many goals for us. So it's a
Yeah.
derby. But I won't
Crazy things
argue
have
that.
happened.
I won't argue that Pirates will win the fixture. I think that's a possibility, but I don't. Hey, place your bets. Betway.
Get way more.
Get way more.
It's actually, the odds are very close together.
Oh, let's see what the odds again. Marco?
2.4 and 2.8 respectively.
Oh yeah, considering where the teams are standing
Yeah,
also.
yes.
Yeah.
But also current form, and
Yeah.
it's a derby.
Let me make you guys some money this weekend. Okay, go place a nice fat bet on a
Draw.
0-0.
Aviator. Oh.
Yes.
Uh,
No, that's for when we get home later today.
Oh, when we bored, half time.
When you're bored,
Yes.
halftime. The game for any occasion. That's the one.
I'm gonna just bring up the odds here. They're not up for me as yet. Oh, here it is. Here, Orlando Pirates versus Kaizer Chiefs. 2.4 favorites for Orlando Pirates. 2.8 for Kaizer Chiefs, and odds of 3 for a draw. The other markets aren't available yet, but odds of 3 for a draw. There's your money.
There's your money.
That's where you win.
Listen,
You are right, Mark.
you must go
But you know the
and 2
less
times
risky
better.
options sometimes.
You can
Other teams
choose.
can show us flames, guys.
You know what? You're going to have a really good market on an exact score of 0-0 and you're going to make money. And I will
What
put
are the
my
odds for Kaizer
own
Chiefs
money.
winning?
2.8.
2.8. Yes.
2.8.
So anyway, for me, you're going to make money on Betway this weekend with me. Legendary me, your account's going to look like mine. No worry. Your account's going to look like mine and we will top you up. Okay, let's look ahead to some other fixtures in the Premier League. Manchester United against Everton at home.
Tricky.
Draw.
Tricky.
I think Man United will turn it around. They're
I
at
think
home.
so.
I think they'll win. It's the early kickoff.
Could be a draw here.
But
So no pasta.
no pasta.
No, during
You have
the
to wake
day.
up at 5 in the morning, have your
Yes.
pasta.
Have pasta. So you can't have pasta at 9 o'clock.
Hey, for a change, it's not Liverpool on an early kickoff. They must be happy.
Oh my God.
I think the tides are changing for Liverpool. They're not playing those
Only
pasta-
because they have to
yeah.
play City on Sunday
Yeah.
night. If they were playing against Brentford, that would be Saturday early. Don't worry.
2 o'clock.
The conspiracy.
But guys,
Continues.
honestly speaking, how can there's no one else that plays as many Alpha 12 fixtures?
No one.
No one.
The
Literally.
stats show. I
Liverpool
would
has
be
more,
gutted. I've said it
lunchtime
many times.
Matches on a Saturday.
And
than
they wonder
any
why we
other
have so
team.
many injuries now.
Yeah. It's
Nah,
not.
but these injuries are Klopp's problem, man.
so?
He runs these players off, man.
You
Rock
think
and
so?
roll, rock and roll
that's it.
football.
No. I mean,
So the fact that Brentford chopped all of our players down doesn't like Jota and Curtis Jones, and then
It would be interesting to find out if the injuries that happen during like how often do injuries happen during the day as opposed to a later a match.
reoccurring muscle injuries is definitely like Thiago and a Trent, maybe hyperextension after the Arsenal game
Yeah.
is one of the things. But like if you look at the recent injuries, right? Gravenberch got his leg chopped off by Caicedo in the final. And then it was Endo as well, got battered. Then it was Szoboszlai. Oh, I think that was a
Szoboszlai.
recurring muscle injury.
Yes.
Thiago, recurring muscle injury. Mo Salah, overextension.
Klopp has a history of injuries, but that's what
Yeah.
you're going to get with rock and roll football. I agree with.
But I just think he's generally a stringent also coach. I mean, he's German.
Just
He
unlucky.
has
Look at
this-
Jota's one as well. It's unlucky. Like, what are you going to do?
And
Someone
and
tackles you
also,
like
I
that.
mean, Jota doesn't like play so often. You know what I mean? He
he's
always come as
injury
a sub. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Javi pressed you, Man United versus Everton. You said United will turn that one around.
Yeah, I don't think
Tepi,
That's your draw.
draw. Bournemouth against Sheffield United.
Bournemouth are taking it 7.
You think that big? I think a
but
3
I feel
no
like
longer a
Bournemouth
team there.
sometimes, but I feel like
Sheffield-
Bournemouth and
Sheffield
Sheffield
is-
sometimes can be the
It's
same.
gonna be
league.
donating 3 points wherever they go.
Yeah.
Okay,
100%.
let's see.
Bournemouth play good football, guys.
I'm surprised Chris Wilder's side is conceding so many goals.
It's not his side. It's not his side. Remember, he took
Yeah.
over. Different style of play.
Crystal Palace against Luton. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
Crystal
they
Palace
play?
at home,
Oh,
Selhurst
okay.
Park.
Luton.
You think so?
For me, yes.
I think draw just because it's at Selhurst Park. That new manager syndrome needs to kick in.
Goals.
Yeah, definite goals. 2-2.
But don't you think the new coach would want to? No, but no, it's too early.
Yeah.
So this is a good game. Wolves against Fulham
Wolves.
I give it to Wolves.
at home.
Yes.
They
Wolves.
disappoint me, but Wolves has something in them, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fulham. Dama coming in
Wolves when they
firing.
are up, when
Wolves.
they're in, yeah.
Fulham blow
The thing-
hot and cold.
yeah. I was gonna say the same
So you
thing,
never know what you.
actually.
But so do Wolves, guys.
Also
That's
true.
Fair point.
But
Yeah.
They hold their own. Like,
You know what? My biggest issue with my bet slips every week is that I don't pick enough draws. I'll always fancy a side to sneak it or win it. And I think that's the dead draw for me in this one. Like, you have to pick a draw if you're doing a multi-bet. There's going to be a draw.
The draw market isn't something that is quite like very popular.
Yes.
It's always 1x2 and then within the market. So yes, a draw would be yielded, but a lot of people just take win or overs and aboves and stuff like
Yeah.
that on it. So a very interesting take on thing, because if you think it's going to be a dead rubber,
Yeah, no,
That's a
I think
great
there'll be a goal or two, but I think it's going to be such a tight game. That one I would place a draw.
Except the Soweto Derby. That one you.
yeah, hands
That
down,
one,
hands
0-0.
down draw.
Put your
Yeah,
money there.
yeah.
I'm gonna
guys, if you're watching, I
I'll
said
put
it's a
50
2-1 win for London Pirates.
I'm
No, we heard you.
I'm putting money on that 0-0. Don't worry, the odds are going to be nice and fat because I'm choosing an exact score. Arsenal against Brentford, 7, 8, 9. How many are Arsenal going to score this week?
Nah,
I
they lost
see a
Brentford is
6-1.
Arsenal at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
They settle for
it's a
3.
6-1.
Yeah, Brentford at home would have been a different
Yeah,
story.
maybe 2-3 goals. Yeah.
And you must remember, Ivan Toney is not. He's not gonna wanna do his.
Betting, yeah. He wouldn't
Yeah.
bet on
Well,
that.
there
Yeah,
too.
he wouldn't bet on that.
Yes,
And
but then,
also,
I mean,
like, you
Ivan
know-
still wants to prove a couple of points for Brentford to say thank you. Is that still a thing?
Not
You
against
know-
these
you know what?
employers
Okay,
for
let's
next
see.
year.
Nothing. Not even they're going to make it challenging. You think
The
steamroll again.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Brentford's
3
a tough
minimum.
side, but
But also, you never know what you're going to get with Brentford. Sometimes they can put up a real. I mean, they got the double over City last
you
year.
need to.
Yeah, we get
you
that,
need.
but-
You need to have the ball to score a goal.
Yes. And the
Arsenal
thing,
are not
yes.
going to give Brentford the ball even for a little bit. Brentford, if they defend high, they'll be played over. If they defend deep, they'll be played through. If you allow Saka a little bit of width, he's going to kill you. Arsenal are going to demolish Brentford.
Yeah, and they will do it in the first half.
I'll
no,
call
in
it.
15 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
like,
call it 3.
This is confidence.
And I'll call it 3-0
This confidence
demolition.
good on you, Len. Yes.
Moving over to Sunday's fixtures, Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur. Probably the game of
That's
the
an interesting
weekend,
match,
-1, which is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big one to talk about. Aston Villa are at home, that home form returning.
I say Villa.
Draw.
I was going
Draw.
for a high draw, like a 2-2
Yes.
or a 3-2 to Villa.
But a draw.
You know Ange is going to bring goals.
And all
There's
my
no
Man
doubt.
United fans here in the comments, we have to beat Everton because one of these teams going to drop points. We need that for the spot for Champions League
Shame.
next season. You guys are asking us to talk about the new Champions League format next week. Next week, we will have a detailed discussion on the new Champions League format. I love it. I love the new look of it. And no, it's not a new revised version of the Super League. The Super League is a different thing
People are just
altogether.
picking on,
Super League
on
that
the
didn't-
comments
that didn't
and
succeed,
critics
or-
and stuff like that.
It's
yeah.
definitely not anything near what the Super League was looking to
Also,
do.
you can't understand the entire format by looking at the 1 minute 30-second video of that guy explaining it. It's just very confusing.
Yes.
Take
Okay,
the
I'm
time
gonna
to
do
look
research.
at it. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do
I
love
do
it. I do
research,
love it. And
yeah.
we'll do an in-depth analysis on
Okay.
that. Brighton against Forest, I think Forest.
Forest for me.
No,
At
Brighton.
home.
Brighton
Brighton at
for
home.
sure.
At the
Brighton.
Amex.
Guys, me, I say Forest.
Hey, Brighton are coming back into form. I think Brighton are gonna.
Okay.
Forest don't. The thing is, Forest can counter. So if Forest sit deep and make it hard for Brighton, they can counter. But Brighton's too good a side.
But the Amex was never really a place.
Yeah,
It's not a fortress.
yeah,
Not a
really,
fortress.
yeah.
Yeah.
West Ham against Burnley. Hey, there's now a fortress of hammers.
Bowen hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I had to get him on my fantasy.
Yeah, Bowen hat trick and
I saw him,
Suchek's
actually.
goal
Yeah, I was so
across the goal the last game. That was incredible. I didn't know he had it in him.
So yeah, West Ham demolish Burnley.
No, definitely.
That's free 3 points. Monday night's game, Chelsea against Newcastle. Nice fixture. Chelsea at home.
Newcastle.
I think Chelsea.
I think Chelsea will turn this one around.
It's a weird one.
and
because
it's
Eddie
like
Howe is-
2-1.
This is the one time I see it
Newcastle
draw.
are like Liverpool, but with injuries, right? But they're not getting the results. That's the difference.
They don't have the depth
most
that
of the
Liverpool
injuries
has.
are back, right? Remember only Tonali's out. Like all of the guys are like a lot of the guys are back. But it's the style of play. I think they just decimated right now with energy. They
Took on a lot.
But
They
also,
peaked early.
they've
Yes.
overachieved for
Agreed.
what he's got.
And
Eddie
also,
Howe's
they
done a
don't
great
have
job.
depth, guys. Let's
no
be honest.
nothing. Yeah,
There's no
nothing.
depth there.
Nothing.
They've overachieved with the injuries they've had and the squad depth that they've had. I agree.
Yeah.
Super sub.
Although
And
Livramento
then-
scored a cracker. in the-
Moving back into the past from the Monday night fixture to the Sunday night fixture, which is the game of the weekend, and how I want to close off the show. Oh my goodness, in terms of this title race. At Anfield, at 5:45, kickoff, Liverpool against Manchester City, Sunday night, the game of the weekend.
The decide.
Oh my word.
A lovely draw.
A lovely draw
Sure, you wish that.
at Anfield.
No, that's I'm,
a win for
I'm,
City.
I'm projecting.
Yeah. manifesting into the universe. A draw would be very
Would be
nice
nice.
for
It would be
Arsenal
nice
fans.
for Arsenal, yeah.
If anything, a City win. Worst thing is a Liverpool win.
I think
I
best
see a
thing is
City win.
better Liverpool win than a City win.
Yes.
For obvious reasons, yeah.
Yes.
No.
Why? Because
Seriously,
City's still the most likely to win the league.
because Arsenal still need to play City,
Yes.
and that's where they could leapfrog them.
I
But Arsenal is playing City away.
Arsenal almost beat City away.
they can hold their own. I think
Yeah,
Liverpool,
but
Etihad is not.
And are we talking about the same Liverpool that is still going through their struggles?
Yeah, I think Mo Salah is. Listen,
How far?
my heart will always want a Liverpool game. I'm stressing from now. I don't even know what day it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I get, especially for a City game.
Yeah.
But I did, after a lovely gym session this morning, we'll rewatch the 2013-2014 Phil Coutinho 3-2 game, which kind of made me feel okay. You never know what you're going to get from this game, guys.
Yes.
And if you think about the last time City and Liverpool went head-to-head, both games were a draw, but high scoring. This 2-2-1 was when Mo Salah did that individual
Yes.
zigzag. I think it's going to be a cracker game, guys.
It's definitely going to be a cracker
but I
game.
don't think Liverpool are at their best
That's
to
what I'm saying.
make a City sweat.
I think Liverpool have too many injuries for me. It's a City win.
it's a
That's
City
it.
think
win.
so.
But it's going to be a
At
tight one.
Anfield.
At Anfield, I
Guys,
think it'll be a tight.
that's Pep's voodoo. The only other team that he can't win against is Spurs at the Spurs Stadium. Anfield is just, listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there's something about Anfield.
No, it
it's
is.
just taking
Of
this
course.
team to heights where it's never been before.
Listen.
guys.
Granted,
Yeah, but I mean, let's
but
be
I think
realistic also.
because yes, it's one thing to play against a Chelsea in a final because Chelsea have been Chelseaing since the start of the season.
Fair.
Playing a City with the thin squad that you have,
Okay.
It's tough.
it's tough.
Bear in mind, right? This thin squad is still technically better than the team we played against them last year and won 1-0.
I agree.
From a
but,
form perspective.
But I think we saw cracks in the previous match.
At Forest.
Yeah.
City won't
Against
defend as
Forest,
deep.
I
though.
was like,
Yeah.
We had
There's so many chances.
3% possession or something. Forest
Yeah.
at 29 or
Not going to
but you're
happen on
not
not
gonna
Sunday.
happen.
able to convert.
Yeah.
So.
Think
I agree.
about-
Manchester United are better against sides like City because then they defend and counter attack, and then when they have to break down a Fulham, it doesn't happen.
Yes.
Other
You
than
know, so-
Arsenal, who's the fastest counter-attacking team in the league? Has to be Liverpool. Darwin Nunez.
Yes.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
But isn't it like a.
They're not
okay.
impactful. They'll go for a
No.
goal kick, right? But seriously, okay, for example,
Liverpool are the best top-level counter-attacking side in the league.
if Darwin Nunez is fit, Darwin Nunez, say for example, Cody Gakpo and Diaz,
Yeah.
with Endo and McAllister pulling the strings, from a counter-attacking perspective, I think City would be susceptible. I don't know if we can handle the barrage from
I think
from
that's
City.
where you guys
Yes.
haven't missed Trent Alexander-Arnold
Yeah.
until this weekend. I think that he's critical to Liverpool being a good counter-attacking side. So for me, I think City will sneak this one. But in saying that, the only scoreline that will surprise me in this fixture is a big win for either side. I think it's a close game.
How it works, right?
Yeah. So
3-1 City.
So a Liverpool win, a City win, a draw, none of those results will surprise me at all. That's why ballers don't bet on this game. Just keep your money safe. Just enjoy the match. Just watch it. Don't play this game. Just put 0-0 on the Soweto Derby and
Get your money there.
and also remember to stay onside with us. Don't be offside. Be onside with me. Len Moleko, Javi, thank you so
Thank you,
much
guys.
for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much. Appreciate
Sefe
it.
Worldwide, thank you, darling. And thank you to you, Super Sub.
Angu.
Remember to enter now with the UEFA Champions League Round of 16 draw. Click on the banner in the BETWAY app to opt in for your chance to win one of 200 750 Rand sports bonuses every game week, plus up to 50,000 Rand in cash prizes for both legs of the round of 16. Javi, thank you so much. Ballers, as always, thank you so much. Remember, stay onside. Don't be offside.
onside.
Be onside with us and Betway.
Nazo, thank you.
Go.
I thought you were going to whistle.
There's a whistle now, my friend.
Oh.
Oh, is it with-